Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota. Luger Contracting, Century Business Products, and the Brittany Shepardine Agency of American Family Insurance. Governor Sports is also sponsored in part by Dakota Mart, TMA, First Dakota National Bank, A.M. Law, Edward Jones, Barrow St. Mary's Hospital, Wagner Auto, Grand Tire, and by Xander Auto Parts, American Bank and Trust, Happy Sun and Shine Properties, Oahu Federal Credit Union, Grand Florida Hotel and Conference Center, Tokyo Hibachi and Sushi, Out of Number, and Black Hills Federal Credit Union. And coverage of high school sports on River 92.7 is also brought to you by these special in-game sponsors: Bank West, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, Central Dakota Eye Care, Envirotech, the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection, Browns Financial Services, Comtech, Coca-Cola Bottom, Law Partners Ameriprise Financial, Hermanson Endodontics, Family Dental, Cowboy Country Stores, and Gale's Gas Service of Pierre. And now, Pierre Governor Sports on the official River 92.7
Well, very good. Afternoon, everybody. Thursday afternoon, one final day of high school softball coming your way as we come to you from Riggs High School, the backyard, Riggs Field. Beer Governors will entertain. Unbeaten Sioux Falls Jefferson. They have since run off 17 straight into the win column. They'll come in 17-1. Power rated number 2 in South Dakota. The Governors are 13th power rated with a record of 5-12. It has been a bit of a struggle, obviously, from here. It's been a tougher schedule down the stretch. It certainly doesn't get any easier today as Pierre and Harrisburg wind up their regular seasons together. I'll be joined by Dean Van de Wille here in just a little bit. We will open up our Governor coverage with a 3-minute timeout. By the way, of course, we'll be live streaming at argnews.com and GoBuffs.live with the help of Fly a Ticket. John Stewart on coverage there, and also Cortana Mancuso in studio, keeping us up and running in our River 92.7 studios at DRG Media Group, the world headquarters. Here in Harrisburg, we'll talk about it when we come back in a 3-minute break. It's our Bank West pregame show. Coming back to Riggs Field near the home finale for Pierre Governors on your official voice of the Govs. River 92.7 at drgnews.com. There when you need them the most. Bank West insurance agents Sam Kennedy and Angie Taylor are here to make your life easier. As an independent agency, we're able to customize an insurance plan to fit your individual needs.
We work with dozens of companies to find you the best possible coverage and the best price.
For your insurance needs, contact Sam or Angie at Bank West Insurance in Pierre. Bank West, convenient, connected, committed. Insurance products are not deposits, not FDIC insured, not insured by any federal agency, not guaranteed by any bank, and may go down in value.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your asphalt shingle, metal roofing, and flat roof needs. New construction plus automotive roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to DakotaStormRoofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
Century Business Products is a proud provider of the most reliable Kyocera copiers and printers to the Pierre School District, backed by 5-time nationally awarded Kyocera servicing team. Are you looking to control color cost? Looking to reduce printers? Are you looking for more efficient ways to scan documents? Or maybe you'd like to become more paperless? Look no further than your local Century Business Products. Call 800-529-1950 and see how they're powering business technology.
Capital City Ford, Lincoln, Toyota, and Ford are celebrating America's 250th birthday with employee pricing. Ford and Lincoln are announcing the American Value Sale on new Ford and Lincoln vehicles. Ford has played a part in shaping American society for over a century, and now is the time to buy with employee pricing during the American Value Sale on now at Capital City Ford, Lincoln, Toyota.
From the first wails of surprise to first day of school questions, playground adventures, learning to drive stress, and graduation cheers. They'll always be your little sunshine. At Avera Children's, we get kids, teens, and parents too. We'll step you through first checkups, milestones, sickness, and specialized care when your child needs it. And treat them like our own every step of the way. Learn more at avera.org/children's.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Welcome back to Riggs Field as we welcome you to our Bank West pregame show. Pregame is brought to you by Bank West for the best and for all of those on the road, whether they be Harrisburg fans or high school sports fans heading anywhere for the rest of this high school sports season. It doesn't matter the reason. The South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds us all to slow the drive, arrive alive. Remember, it starts with you. You've got someplace to be, and that being said, please buckle up every trip, every time. Brian Oakland with the play-by-play coming up. Dean Vandewille joins us too as Coach Vandewille. Just you're looking at a Pierre team that, and both of these teams, in fact, with one game to go, the Sodak 16 comes up on Tuesday. Obviously, Harrisburg is well set in that number 2 spot because they've just been almost perfect all season long. But this Pierre team, they've had their ups and they've had their downs. Obviously, they play tougher competition. They get a little bit outmatched. I just always feel like this is a good team in this Pierre Governor squad. The problem is there are just so many other really good teams out there, and they're going to see another one today in Harrisburg.
Totally agree with you, Brian. And I think when you look at the power standings the way they are, we're going to have a top team, no doubt. So I think you go into this game against a power team strategizing on things you could do. What's the combination right now that we can exercise that will actually keep the score down? We're seeing all these Sioux Falls teams can hit and hit well. You leave anything up in a zone, they're tattooing it, the left center, right center, and now we've got a wind blowing out left to right if I'm making sense, and I can see right center being a nasty field. So to me, I think you've got to come into a game like this as an opportunity to strategize things you can do to keep the score low. Where can we put pitches to induce infield grounders, for example? Do we go outside? Do we go inside? I think there's got to be a little strategy, if I'm making sense, and experimentation on what we can do today against a good team and carry that forward into the playoffs.
Oh, you make perfect sense because as we talk about keys to success in our pregame, which are sponsored by Central Dakota Eye Care, I mean, the keys for the underdog teams, and especially I think in softball, and I've felt this in the slow pitch game. If you want to contend with a good team, you've got to get them to hit pitches that you want them to hit, not pitches that they're going to, in this case, as you talk about the wind probably blowing out to right. We do have a southerly wind, so the wind's blowing in from left field, but good hitters are really going to hit it a long way if they get their arms extended. So I think you got to bust them inside a little bit, try to get them to just hit them off the hands or do whatever you can. We'll see what Charlie Hull is able to do. And, obviously the other key to success in the long run over the course of a full game is to keep this game close as much as you can. Give yourselves a chance to win in some way toward the end of the game.
Couldn't agree with you more. And in matter of fact, I mean, if we're struggling hitting, maybe you experiment a bit with small ball. If you got a kid who's hot right now, you're seeing JV or Jordan Kirky coming up and taking some swings on the varsity. Is she seeing the ball big and hitting a long ball? You're also seeing Pierre come in with the Bracky gal who's very quick on the bases. We've seen Emma Tyling get on. So can we small ball around and potentially get into a 4-3 win or a 3-2 win? I think that's really a big key for us.
Well, that's the hope. Obviously, a win would do a lot to boost the confidence of Pierre going to the Sodak 16. Harrisburg, all they've got is confidence, Coach. Is again 17 straight victories. It's a team that's been to the top of the charts before. They played in state championship games here in the first 3 years of sanctioned ball in South Dakota. And, it's just a team that does everything right. And, I don't think you're going to win this game if you're Pierre by getting them to make mistakes, but you just have to try to do things as well as your opponent does today.
Couldn't agree more. We've got to keep those errors down, and like you were talking about, do you try to jam them inside but either way, you're looking to have your pitcher and your defense on the same page, that I am pitching to get the ball sent here. And you know as well as I, Brian, a lot of times you pitch to strike out a batter or you pitch to contact. And I think if we can keep the pitch count down and pitch to contact, if we trust our infielders to make those plays, that may be something to experiment with.
All right. You've talked about playing Harrisburg teams in the past as a big underdog too. And certainly if you get that good pitching, and it's not out of the realm of ridiculousness necessarily to think that a Pierre team or one of these lower power rated teams couldn't contend with a top team. It's just that everything has to fall into place.
You have to play a perfect game. You have to have a team strategy that you apply and you execute it. You're exactly right.
So, one game to go here in the regular season. This obviously is the home finale for the Pierre Governors. They will be on the road in the Sodak 16. That'll be on Tuesday, and we'll take a bigger look at that when we come back after this 3-minute timeout. You've been listening to Keys to Success in our Bank West pregame. The keys are brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care. Another look at the state of softball when we come back. We'll check the standings and the schedule for the rest of this weekend. There are games today and tomorrow. The season officially ends for the regular season tomorrow, so the rest of the schedule coming up. And your starting lineups are still on the way. A little bit later on, our Bank West pregame show continues. You're listening to Pierre Governor Softball on River 92.7.
Regular comprehensive eye exams yearly are the key to finding eye problems before symptoms appear. Hi, this is Dr. Mike Bartlett. I've joined the team at Central Dakota Eye Care, continuing to provide the same high-quality care you've come to expect. I've been seeing patients here.
Memorial Day, we pause to remember, to honor the men and women who gave their lives in service of our country, and the families who carry their legacy forward. Their sacrifice is the reason we are able to do what we do every day. In observance of Memorial Day, Rosenberg Implement will be closed as we take time to reflect, remember, and give thanks. We encourage everyone.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
When you're thinking of a new or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV, think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
At Ringneck Energy, their mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year. Creating economic opportunities in our community.
Today,
Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
Back at Riggs Field on a beautiful sunny 70-degree day to close out the high school regular season here. High school softball in its fourth season as sanctioned by the South Dakota High School Activities Association. Once again, our Bank West pregame continues. Let's take a quick run through what has happened recently for Pierre softball and for Harrisburg softball as they are the opposition here today. Last week, busy for both teams.
Back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place.
With a home game at the Governors defeating Mitchell 2-1, and then they went to Sturgis the next day on Friday, but the Scoopers beat the Governors 9-3. Harrisburg last week Thursday had a ball game at Rapid City Stevens, beat the Raiders 14-9 in a good one there between number 2 versus current number 5, and then Harrisburg won 2 games easily on Friday. They beat Sturgis 26-7, and then they beat Spearfish 18-2. So some scary offense from this Harrisburg squad that we'll see here today. And then a couple of games, well, a few games earlier this week. Monday, Brookings won at Mitchell 8-4. Yankton wins at T Area 6-5. The Governors went to T Area on Tuesday, but dropped a 16-6 verdict in 6 innings. Harrisburg then beat Aberdeen Central, no trouble there, 17-0. Yankton defeated Watertown 5-2. Sturgis won out west over Spearfish 17-8. And then Harrisburg apparently had a game yesterday too, with a 12-2 win down at Yankton. So they've got a third game in as many days here as they take on the Governors. Harrisburg at Pierre and a full slate of games otherwise. Sioux Falls Lincoln plays up at Watertown. There's a lot of action in the Metro as well. Sturgis plays at Sioux Falls Roosevelt, and then we'll also play Sioux Falls Washington today. Rapid City Stevens is at O'Gorman this afternoon. They'll play at Brandon Valley tonight. T Area, by the way, goes up to Aberdeen, and meanwhile, Sioux Falls Roosevelt also hosts the Brookings Bobcats today. And then a lot of that action continues in the Metro tomorrow. Sturgis plays against O'Gorman, Rapid City Stevens at Sioux Falls, Washington, and Roosevelt with a pair of games for the Raiders tomorrow. Brookings will play at Sioux Falls Lincoln. Sturgis plays at Brandon Valley after their game against O'Gorman, and then Watertown plays at Sioux Falls Jefferson. So both these teams are wrapping up their regular season without having to play tomorrow as well. And again, the Sodak 16 will be set after tomorrow's matchups, and the Sodak 16 will be played at the venues of the top 8 home teams coming up on Tuesday. Harrisburg is the number 2 seed, would play Watertown if the Sodak 16 was being played today. The Governors are number 13 with a 5-12 record. They would have to go to number 4, Brandon Valley. Sioux Falls Jefferson unbeaten is number 1. Harrisburg number 2. It's Washington 16-3 in the 3 spot. Brandon Valley 13-4 is at 4, and then Rapid City Stevens, a couple of recent losses, now 12-2 down to the 5 spot. O'Gorman, Roosevelt, and Lincoln are the top 8 teams. Brookings leads the best of the rest from 9 through 16. Again, Pierre is at number 13. That's a quick look around South Dakota, the state of softball in Class AA. Part of our Bank West pregame show. Another 3-minute break. We'll step aside, and we've got your starting lineups when we come back with more Governor Softball, your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because
pests don't wait, and neither should you. At Olson's Pest Technicians, we've been protecting homes and businesses for over 55 years. From bats in the attic to rodents in the walls, ants in the kitchen, termites underground, even swarms of mosquitoes. We've seen it all, and we handle it all. With expert technicians, ethical treatments, and service across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa, you can count on Olson's to get the job done right. Contact us today at Olson's Pest Technicians. Family owned, community trusted.
Wow, Bill, you're walking so much better. What did you do?
Well, I got so tired of the pain and nearly fell. And one of my friends recommended physical therapy at Winter Physical Therapy. And you know what? My back also stopped hurting.
Huh. So how did you get started?
My doctor wrote me a referral, but that's not always needed. Turns out you always have a choice where you want to go.
So why did you choose Winter Physical Therapy?
I love to support our locally owned small businesses, and quite frankly, they give great personalized care.
Winter Physical Therapy. Exceptional care.
What if the market shifts? What if the margins on your farm keep getting tighter? Simplot Grower Solutions is here to help. Simplot Crop Advisors know South Dakota corn, soybean, wheat, and other crops like you do because they live and work here. So, even if the market shifts or the margins keep getting tighter, you'll have the insight and support to keep moving forward. Simplot Grower Solutions.
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierre, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
For over 70
Welcome back
years.
to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box.
Easy setup, easy pickup, and easy payment. Call Envirotech at 224-4804 or use their website to pay your bill online at envirotechwaste.com. Use the mobile app Waste Connect. Check the website or receive a robocall for collection schedule due to weather or holidays. Envirotech has you covered.
Back at Riggs Field, we just heard from Envirotech, and they sponsor our game official, or I should say they sponsor our starting lineups as we'll continue our Bank West pregame show, meeting both of these teams. And again, as we meet some of these teams, there are several seniors who have graduated, and we just want to say congratulations to all high school graduates who made the walk. Of course, Pierre had graduation this past weekend. I think, I know that Harrisburg also did, so congrats to everybody who made the walk and received their diplomas over the weekend. As we meet the Harrisburg Tigers, we'll start with their starting lineups, brought to you by Envirotech. Leading off and being the designated player, not playing defense, but Leah Knutson is a senior leadoff hitter for Harrisburg. Anna Siminek is a junior second baseman. She'll bat second. Batting third and playing first base is senior J.C. Olson. Doing the catching behind the plate and batting fourth in the cleanup spot, junior Peyton Laframboy is playing center field. The center fielder is Alexis Fye. She'll bat fifth. Kennedy Kokanj is a junior shortstop batting sixth. Maya Gibson, a junior third baseman, bats seventh. Left fielder Stella Disbro, a sophomore for Harrisburg, will bat eighth. And then the right fielder Hayden Knoll, the senior for the Tigers, will bat ninth. Kylie Visker pitches, and she's listed as the flex player, the junior for the Tigers, as in the 10 spot, so to speak, but again, only batting the top nine. Leah Knutson, Anna Simonik, J.C. Olson, Peyton Laframboy, Alexis Fye, Kennedy Kokanj, Maya Gibson, Stella Disbro, Hayden Knoll, the starting nine for the Harrisburg Tigers, with Kylie Visker on the mound. Envirotech starters for Harrisburg as we meet the Pierre Governors as well, also sponsored by Envirotech. Leading off and doing the pitching today will be senior Charlie Hall. Fellow senior Kenzie Flotmeyer plays first base and bats second. Micah Buffalo will bat third today, plays shortstop. Taryn Spruill bats fourth and plays second base. She is a junior. Ava Nelson, the sophomore, bats third. and bats fifth rather, and plays third base. Jordan Kirky coming up and getting a start on varsity. The junior right fielder bats sixth. Olivia Hymans, the junior center fielder, will bat seventh. Senior Presley Spies bats eighth and plays left field. Emma Tylen will be the Pierre defensive player in the lineup, designated player rather, and Tylen, the sophomore. The flex player will be Allie Keys, the junior, and she will do the catching honors today. Charlie Hall, Kenzie Flotmeyer, Micah Buffalo, Taryn Spruill, Ava Nelson, Jordan Kirky, Olivia Hymans, Presley Spies, Emma Tylen in the batting lineup for the Pierre Governors. Charlie Hall will do the pitching in this one, and if needed, we'll see Kenzie Flotmeyer perhaps as well. Pierre is 5-12 on the season, number 13 in the power rankings, coached by Kurt Lichtaw, assisted by Sam Kennecke, Chris Hall, Paul Carver, and Kenzie Gronlund. Harrisburg, number 2, power rated, 17-1, riding a 17-game win streak. Their head coach is Keith Flemmer, assisted by Christopher Colker and Haley Houston. We'll meet today's game officials as well. Our other starting lineup, that's brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office and Division of Consumer Protection, will meet the law on the field right after this from the South Dakota Attorney General's Office.
Text message scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to rise at an alarming rate. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
Our law on the field today, our game officials, the umpires for today, brought to you by the Attorney General's Office Consumer Protection Division. Veteran crew today. Justin Peterson will call balls and strikes. Shane Munt roaming the bases as our umpires today. Justin Peterson, Shane Munt, appreciate you guys' efforts. Thanks for being our law on the field, brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Consumer Protection Division. 3 minutes and we serve it up. We're playing ball next on River 92.7.
Game day doesn't start at the field. It starts in the driveway. With a full schedule of practices, tournaments, and road trips, you need a vehicle that can go the distance. That's where Beck Motor Company comes in, delivering power, comfort, and dependability for every inning of life. From the spacious Suburban and Tahoe to the versatile Traverse and efficient Equinox, Chevy SUVs are built to handle it all. Gear, teammates, and every mile in between. And as our girls take the field this season, we're proud to be a part of their journey. Beck Motor Company, where we're making a great deal better. www.beck-motors.com.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your asphalt shingle, metal roofing, and flat roof needs. New construction, plus all types of roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, and gutters too. No job is too big or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to DakotaStormRoofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
From the first wails of surprise to first day of school questions, playground adventures, learning to drive stress, and graduation cheers, they'll always be your little sunshine. At Avera Children's, we get kids, teens, and parents too. We'll step you through first checkups, milestones, sickness, and specialized care when your child needs it, and treat them like our own every step of the way. Learn more at avera.org/children's.
Do you dream of a custom home built within your budget and done on time? Kruger Contracting can make that dream a reality. They're a trusted home builder since 2003, and they're going to be upfront and open about cost and transparent about where your money is going when it comes to your new home. Their skilled crew will manage construction of your new home from start to finish. They're located in Pierre and can build your home in Pierre, Fort Pierre, or the surrounding area. Call 605-222-2523. Visit KrugerContracting.com or find Kruger Contracting on Facebook.
Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? LiveTicket.tv has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 per hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 2. That's 833-605-5483, extension 2. And punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
Comtech has your technology solutions. Check out their showroom located right off the truck route on Irwin Street. Come in and see what you've been missing. A large selection of TVs, sound systems, and smart speakers, PCs, desktops, and tablets, home and business security and telecommunication systems. Comtech is your all-in-one solution for any technology needs. Wishing all athletes the best of luck in today's competition. Comtech. Come see what you've been missing.
Out in the backyard of Riggs High School on Church Street, the corner of Church and Jefferson. We are underway. Comtech sponsors our opening pitch of today's game. First pitch by Charlie Hall was low and in the dirt. Second one closer, but still a little bit low. As off to a 2-0 lead in the count is Leah Knutson, the designated player for the Harrisburg Tigers. Here in Harrisburg, closing out the regular season. Here's one on the outside corner for Charlie Hall, the senior. Number 2 pitcher, so to speak, for the Governors. Kenzie Flopmeyer playing first base today. 2-1 here to Knutson to start things off. This one low and in. It'll be 3-1. And already trying to pick spots on the corners, you can tell, and that's pretty much what's going to be needed with movement from Charlie Hull, but she's missed 3 out of 4. Here comes a 3-1 for Knutson, and that will be another one low on the corner and a lead-off walk for the Tigers.
Yeah, no doubt she's working that outside edge, Brian, and like you say, trying to get undesirable yet pitches they'll swing at. You're exactly right.
Well, she is keeping it down so far in that first at-bat. First batter of the game now, Anna Siminek, the second baseman, will stand in right away. Knutson takes off, and she had a good jump. Now the ball off her shoulder, and it goes out into left center field. And that will advance a runner to third. So just like that, you see the recipe for success for the Harrisburg Tigers. They get a fast runner on the base paths. Ends up being, has to go on as an error on the catcher to advance a runner to third base. Just like that, the pitch was a strike, though, to Siminek. She'll try to get a run in from 60 feet away. Won't need to worry about it. As a wild pitch will bring the runner home. So really some things that we haven't seen so much from the Governors. A leadoff walk, a stolen base, advance another on an error and a wild pitch. That's a small ball as you can get, without really having to make any contact with the bat. 1-1, now low and in. It'll be 2-1 here to the second batter of the game. One batter in, and we're already at 1-0. Harrisburg.
Yeah, really critical right now, Brian. We get our poise. Concentrate now on getting our 3 outs and get focused here on what we need to do.
There's a swing and a foul ball, but it's off of the ankle of the batter, and she is down. Siminek here, and she is in pain. This one, you just hate seeing things like this happen. And this one happens right away. And as Siminek holds on to her left ankle and is getting some comfort from the third batter of the day, J.C. Olson, who came over from the on deck circle. See Coach Keith Flemmer out there. He did have a little bit of a chuckle. I guess that's a good sign. As Anna Siminek tries to work out this barking dog of the left ankle. Casey Michelson, peer trainer, is present, so she'll come out and take a look as well. Injury timeout, but timeouts in our broadcast of any time brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre, and another opportunity to do some more business to start things off. Fans, we invite you to listen for our highlight plays of the game. When players are right on the money, they're making highlight plays. You can be right on your money as well with Rounds Financial Services in Pierre, where your money works for you. Work with Rounds Financial Services, wealth member, make it Osaic wealth member, SIPC. So we'll look for some highlight plays today. But again, first swing of the day, second batter of the game is Anna Siminek. Fouls one off of her left ankle. She is finally up off the ground and will try to walk it off. Tells she wants to stay in there, but she's still limping noticeably. Harrisburg has a bench of 6 other players, so they certainly have somebody on their bench that could take Simonek's place if necessary. But just getting started, Siminek, a junior. This is a Harrisburg team that the last thing they need is injuries going into the postseason, sitting at number 2 in the power rankings. You don't see see that in baseball all the time. I suppose you see it in fast pitch softball a little bit, but things like that really don't happen without good movement on the pitch. And you can give credit to Charlie Hull in that case, but you just hope that this Harrisburg hitter can walk it off and keep playing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Brian. And I think the rule is if she's unable, you can, as you say, bring in one of those off the bench, as I recall.
And still have a re-entry, perhaps?
For an injury. I would, I'm going from memory here, but it looks like she's going to be able to go.
Siminek toughing it out. One thing there's no doubt about it, she's got a laugh going with Coach Flemmer now, too, so she's feeling a little bit better. It's just still a pronounced limp. So with that foul ball, the updated count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Harrisburg with their leadoff runner already coming all the way around to score the first run of the game. Siminek ready to hit. And she turns on an offering here from Charlie Hall that was right down the middle, but fouls him outside at third base. Presley Spies runs it down on the left field side. Good scene here from Riggs Field. Got clouds in the sky, but there's plenty of sunshine. 2-2 again. This one slowly rolled out to short, but Micah Buffalo rushes the throw, and again, Siminek could hardly run, as it turned out. The Governors will give her a gift of an errant throw. And again, Siminek, I don't know if she's going to be able to keep going here the way she ran down to first. And Buffalo, who she just fielded it cleanly, but came up and throwing mechanics made it sail a little bit. I really don't see Siminek continuing here. That was, there just wasn't much she could do.
Yeah, it was basically a fast walk down to first base was the best she could do, and I think they're evaluating her now. And you're right, Micah fielded that clean, just threw an open throw, if I'm making sense, and sailed high and right to first base.
Yeah, she might have rushed that throw a little bit, essentially mechanically. You just you get your body weight ahead of the arm, and the arm lags behind, and that's what happens on the sail. So a batter on with an error. Second error of the inning already for the Pierre Governors. Siminek will check out, and the Tigers will bring in Harley Whitmire, a freshman, to run, at least for the time being, for Anna Siminek. So Whitmire takes her place and may play second base in the meantime as well. Third batter of the inning is up. We've got a lefty, and J.C. Olson, the senior first baseman. Tall in stature here for the Tigers. First pitch misses. It's ball one. Charlie Hull in the wind and hits the outside edge to our left. To the left-handed batter. Good spot there. 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll see if Whitmire gets to run the way Leah Knutson did when she was the leadoff batter, reaching first base here on a walk. Here's a hot shot. Sproul knocks it down. It's right to second base, but Micah Buffalo off of the base cannot get a step to the bag, and the call is safe. That'll be a hot shot single. Good effort by Sproul. Nice swing there by J.C. Olson. We'll give her an infield single, but still 3 batters in. 3 batters have hit. Nobody out yet, and 2 runners are on at first and second. And the cleanup hitter up next, but a letter high pitch here to Peyton Laframboy, catcher for the Tigers. And I tell you what, she just looks like if gets a hold of one, she can send one a long way. Off the edge, 2-0 from Charlie Hull.
Again, working that outside edge, Brian, and that last hit here was so hard to Sproul. It was a little bit of self-defense, ricocheted to second base. Buffalo almost was able to step on it for the force, just didn't have a good angle to tap the foot.
Framboy swings. It's a line drive out to left center field. That'll be down for a hit, and that'll roll all the way to the fence. In left center, 2 runs will score as the throw goes to third base, and Peyton Laframboy delivers a 2-run knock, and will end up on second with a double. Just a solid swing there, nothing fancy. Laframboy made it easy. and scores a couple.
You saw that curveball coming in, and she actually, Laframboise hit it on the outside edge of the bat, kind of even knuckled, if you will, over the shortstop, about 20 feet in height, one hop into the fence.
Charlie Hall will retool and go with Alexis Fye. Hit one on the inside corner to the center fielder. By another senior for Harrisburg. 1, 2, 3, 4 in their starting lineup. And the 0-1 coming. Governor's still looking for an out here. High fastball makes it 1-1. Well, it's like days like this. I mean, why don't we just play ball every day? Here's a slow roller. Third base. Ava Nelson up with it. She'll throw over to Flotmeyer. And the out will be recorded. Flotmeyer actually stepped into the baseline, which might have slowed the runner up. But in trying to make a play, nothing wrong with that. A 5-3 put out. That does advance the runner, Laframboise, to third. She's actually got a courtesy runner for the catcher out there right now. Didn't see who that was. But that is the first out of the inning for the Governors. 3 runs in so far for the second-ranked and second-seeded Harrisburg Tigers. Here's Kennedy Kokenge, a junior shortstop for the Tigers. This one floats in there, off-speed delivery from Charlie Hull. And that called a strike, 1-1.
And we'll see a lot of that out of Charlie. She throws an awesome changeup, a really good curveball, just kind of trying to script the timing of the batter.
Curveball here, absolutely, but that's a pop-up out into left center. Who's taking charge? Buffalo kept going after it. Presley Spies unable to call her off as she was going after it too. And on a Governor error, the fourth run of the inning will score for the Tigers, and they've got yet another runner out in scoring position.
Yeah, very catchable ball. We got just what we wanted, Brian. We got a shallow pop fly and had a communication error there between Buffalo and Spies.
Now Spies coming in, got to be the one to call off, and Buffalo's got a layoff on that one in that case. Another foul at the plate off of the leg of the hitter. This is Maya Gibson, third baseman for Harrisburg. Coach, that's 3 plays already, or at least 2 that we just haven't seen much from the Governors this season. In the inability to make plays. You know, and you'd hate to say that they come out here and are complacent in their first inning, but I guess that's a critical way to assess this first inning of play.
Yeah, it's really right now they got to get their poise back and get back to that tough defense like we saw against Washington, for example, where they were very solid. These are plays that the Governors normally make, and hopefully they get their poise back together and they start playing like they can.
1-2. Here's a pop-up right at the plate. Allie Keys, now Charlie Hall. There's some communication that the Governors work out. Hall takes charge and right up the third base line, just a few feet. That's a pop-out by Maya Gibson. And the second out of the inning as Kokenge stays at second base. So 2 outs here, 4-0. Governors have not batted yet. This is still the top of the first inning. Welcome Stella Disbro to the plate and foul ball.
If you think about it so far, Brian, we're getting the hits we want. We got a shallow pop fly to left. We had a routine grounder here, and now this pop up to Charlie shallow at catcher. It tells you Charlie's moving the ball. They've only really squared up 1 ball so far.
Yeah, make it 2 actually here as Disbro will hit one over the head of Sproul. High throw, Hall comes to get it, Buffalo, and we've got an out recorded at second base. The runner, Kokenge, will score from second, but Disbro trying to take an extra base off of an RBI single will be thrown out at second to retire the side. 5 runs in, though, for Harrisburg after 1/2 inning of play. Harrisburg 5. And the Governors coming to bat after a 1-minute break. You're listening to Pierre Governors Softball.
Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitts Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press.
Productive as usual to start this thing off. 5 runs on 3 hits. There were 3 Pierre errors in that inning, however, and obviously helping the cause. Nobody left on base. The last batter, Stella Disbro, retired on an 8-1-6 play with a tag out at second base, but she did drive in the run. And the Governors will bat for the first time, down 5-0.
Charlie Hall leading off for us. Charlie has done a solid job all season just getting on base. She normally can drive a count a little deeper than most.
Kylie Visker, the Tiger catcher. First one missed just a bit. Second one further outside into the left-handed batter's box. The right-handed batter here. And Charlie leading things off. Kinsey Flopmeyer and Micah Buffalo due up here in the top of the first inning. Here's one that clips the edge. And Charlie Hull with a 2-1 count.
All 3 pitches on the outside edge there, Brian. Looks like they're trying to work an edge like we are.
And there's another one that is ruled a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Really exact same spot as the last, wasn't it? About chest high.
Yeah, but and good movement on him. Curves here. Booster as to duck away. Charlie Hull put one right past the pitcher. Hot shot for the senior. And Charlie Hull made the pitcher flinch, made the announcer flinch on the pitcher's behalf as well. But a good start here to the top of the first inning.
Those first 3 pitches looked alike, and the third one must have looked like a beach ball to Charlie, as that was a shot.
Visker will deal. Batter number 2, Kinsey Flopmeyer, the right-handed swinging senior. Charlie Hull leading from first base. Leadoff single for the Govs. Visker comes at it, takes something off for this one. Flopmeyer swings over the top of it. Good drop ball there.
It was, and that's the 5th one we've seen outside edge of the plate. I mean, this would be an opportune time for Flotty to go with that pitch to right center.
Yeah, she comes and meets it, but will foul it away over the net off to the right side. Count remains 0-2.
As a batter, you got to hunt that outside pitch now with a runner on first. You know what I'm saying? You got to try to go for that and take that to right center.
Next one, just a little bit low. Might have been a little outside as well. It'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of times, the Govs, when they played these top power teams, Metro teams, there's one off the end of the bat that'll float over to the Governor dugout. They just have not been able to match the offense of the Sioux Falls teams, of Brandon Valley, certainly now here at Harrisburg. I mean, that's going to be the challenge of the day. Already down 5-0, but with a leadoff single, it's going to be interesting to see if Pierre can start stringing some things together.
And we saw a good at bat out of Charlie. Kinsey's now fouled 2 off, telling me she's seeing these pitches well. Everything is outside of the plate, O'Brien. Every pitch so far.
It's 2-2 because of an outside pitch. Now a swing and a miss. Flotmeyer runs down to first, but she will not be able to stay there as first base was occupied. However, Charlie Hull will advance to second base on the wild pitch. With a swinging strike 3 for Kinsey Flotmeyer. And Micah Buffalo will come to the plate for the Governors. Flottmeyer can run on that play if there are 2 outs, but that is just the first out. Here's the chopper to second. Nice pickup by Simonek on to J.C. Olson for the out, 4-3 put away. Charlie Hall will advance quickly to third, but Buffalo the second out of the bottom of the first.
Took that first pitch right off the hands, Brian. Would like to see Micah go for something more in the meat of the bat, if you will.
So Terrence Sproul will try to deliver 1 run here. Sproul, one of the top 3 RBI providers here on the season for the Governors. Swings and misses, though. Strike 1. Hitting clean up here today. Visker, not much of a windup. She just is already rocked back on the rubber, and she'll just come straight through. That's a good little curve piece on this one, and that clips the corner. And it's 0-2. Coming at her again, fouled off, just at the plate. Good job by Sproul to protect. And she'll have to try again.
And it almost looks a bit like a drop curve, Brian. You're seeing some horizontal movement and some drop. And it's right on the outside edge of the bat where the bat is weak.
Sproul keeps her hands on the end of the bat here, and she'll get one in play. Slow roller right to the pitcher's mound, and beaten by a step and a half is Sproul as Visker over to Olson at a 1-3 put out. A leadoff single is stranded at third for the Governors. 1 inning complete, and it's 5-0. Harrisburg will take a 1-minute break and come back with more Pierre Governors softball.
DRG Media Group Sports is the official voice of the Pierre Governors.
Our hash mark over the middle and wide open at the 30-yard line. Carter shuffle bind, touchdown. Here's Olson, plenty of time, 3 seconds, gets to shoot, and it's good for 3.
From football, volleyball, and soccer to basketball, wrestling, and softball, follow the Pierre Governors on the official voice of the Govs, River 92.7, and also on the River 92.7 page of the DRG News smartphone app and drgnews.com.
Welcome to Bowie Foods at Al's Oasis Plaza. My great-grandfather, Gus Bowie, opened the first store in 1905. I'm R.F. Bowie, the president of Bowie Foods. We aren't your typical store. You'll find everything you need for your family. You'll save money, and I promise you're going to enjoy your grocery shopping experience. We carry a lot of locally produced products and some things you just aren't going to find anywhere else. South Dakota-owned, family-owned, Bowie Foods.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Cricket
Inning underway here at Riggs Field. 5-0 Harrisburg as they bat. Charlie Hull delivering to Hayden Knoll. First pitch on the outside corner. Second one, a strike, belt high. And it's 0-2. Charlie swing and a miss. Strike 3. 3-pitch strikeout of the number 9 hitter in the Harrisburg lineup by Charlie Hull.
3 beautiful pitches there, Brian. Ending there with an off-speed peel that was just left her handcuffed.
Next batter up, I believe, is the leadoff hitter, Leah Knutson.
Walked first at bat, Brian, if memory serves.
Yep, walked and scored. Basically on just 2 pitches. There's a hot shot, and that one's over Charlie Hull's head. Just to her left. Knutson, the leadoff hitter, shows her ability as a solid leadoff, handled the bat well, and she will be on with a 1-out single.
Yeah, that was low in the zone outside. She still got a line drive out of it to right center. Good piece of hitting.
So now Harley Whitmire will bat, the freshman, hitting in place as Knutson takes off again. Allie Keys with a good throw here, but the Governors did not cover second base in time. Ahead for a slide and a stolen base for Knutson, her second of the day.
Yeah, that throw was there by Keys. It was right where it needed to be.
Pitch was a strike as well, so an 0-1. And this one is hit right back up the middle by Whitmire. Oh, almost got that one on a hop, but it just didn't come up high enough. She didn't have much time to react to it. It's a well-hit ball, and Whitmire drives in Knutson from second base with that 1-out RBI single.
Seeing Charlie get in a rhythm here, Brian, that's 7 straight strikes now that she's thrown. So they're definitely starting to find her spots here.
But a tough hitter here in J.C. Olson, and will miss. Oh, that one is on the outside corner. Olson singled. Set up runners at first and second. Came in on a 2-run double by Peyton Laframboy, who stands in the on-deck circle. Here's Olson fouling one off over the Harrisburg dugout on the third base side.
This is the second batter now that Charlie's got in an 0-2. And again, if my count's right, we got 9 straight strikes here. And not much is flat. Most of our pitches are moving pretty well.
0-2 here, 1 down. We're in the top of the second inning. Harrisburg leading 6-0. There's one to waste as that one will sail outside.
Charlie's got a really good screwball. And that, like you said, Brian, that was just away from the left-handed hitter here.
Target set up on the inside corner to the left-handed batter, but this one sails away as well. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. J.C. Olson, senior first baseman. It's one thing I've always been impressed with, the movement of Charlie Hull's pitch repertoire. Here's one weakly hit outside of third base, a little bit out into the outfield. Ava Nelson takes off after it, tries to dive. Not make the acrobatic catch, though. It's still a foul ball and will remain 2-2.
I kind of equate Charlie to Noel Kist of last year. You know, the ball, every ball is moving as far as spot and spin.
Outside target here is another one popped up. Hymans has to come in quickly. She gets to it, but can't make the catch. Stumbled a bit, and the ball is off the glove. And that will contribute to another base runner. Really hard to give Hymans an error on that. She had to run awful long way. I tend to give her a single on that one.
I would agree with a single.
Olson a single.
She was laying out for it, but again, Charlie got what she needed. You know, got a shallow pop fly out of a strong hitter.
Up high to start the Laframboy at bat. Peyton Laframboy, the biggest hit of the game so far, a 2-run double in a 5-run first inning. Tigers already have a run into the second, and they lead 6-0. And here's one that is low and inside. He's unable to handle that. That'll get back to the backstop. 2 runners advance to second and third. Second wild pitch so far in the game as well. Hasn't been a clean game, obviously, for Pierre. 2-0. There's a strike in, but Laframboy will tattoo it down the left field line. And Spies gets to it, but Laframboy will have another double. And she'll drive in 2 more just like that, back-to-back at-bats for Peyton Laframboy and back-to-back 2-run doubles.
Hard hit down the line. I thought Spies did a great job of cutting that ball off. Otherwise, I thought that could have been a triple. Did a good relay throw in to just hold the runner to a double.
Yeah, she got to it. Spies did, knocked it down. Had to take a few extra steps, but yeah, if she doesn't get to that ball with the angle that she had, that ball is heading to third, or heading to the fence. And Laframboy probably does have a triple. Laframboy's got a courtesy runner in now, and she advances a base with another wild pitch. 8-0, updating the score. Already 3 runs in the inning. The top 3 hitters in the order have scored. Still 1 out. And off the end of the bat from Alexis Fye. Fye out on a grounder to Ava Nelson at third base in her first at-bat.
Love that location, Brian. Hitting it right off the end of the bat. You got no power if you square it up.
And Keys blocks this one as it comes low and inside again.
You just can't overemphasize the simple block. If she misses that, another run scores. It's just such an important play and a necessary characteristic you need in a catcher.
2-1 here from Hull. Another pop-up straight up. Keys coming straight back right in front of us and makes the nice play. Tougher play than it looks with the spin on the ball, and Keys in this case not taking her catching mask off. A pop-up behind home plate will result in out number 2, keeping a runner at third. And the Tigers will have Kennedy Kokenge standing in. She grounded to short and reached on an error in her first at bat. Actually did not ground it short. She popped one up behind second base. Keys blocks this one. It comes up the first base line, but the runner from third unable to advance home. The courtesy runner is Quinn Peters, the sophomore, running in place of the catcher, Peyton LaFramboise.
Another good block by Keys, preventing that run from scoring.
And this one at the top of the zone. It'll be a ball and a strike.
You know, you talk, Brian, about everything Charlie throws moving. They always say the 3 S's, you need 2, between speed, spot, and spin.
This one hammered but foul. Out of play down the third base line. Kokenge with a short, compact swing. There's one thing about Harrisburg sports, especially with girls, you don't get a lot of two-sport athletes. They specialize in sports. But this young lady batting is a two-sport athlete, and she is darn good at both sports. Volleyball, Harrisburg, a 4, maybe 5-time state volleyball champion team now. Kennedy here, certainly a big part of this softball success as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Missing was Charlie Hull on the last one. She'll miss up and away. 3-2 now. The count will run full to Kennedy Kokenge. My brother, who graduated last year, played with my nephew in baseball in Harrisburg. Here's another hot shot, and that's going to hook foul. Charlie Hull took a little bit of something off of that one, and Kokenge golfs it from the knees down the left field line, and another one out of play. Justin Peterson, home plate umpire, needs a new allotment of softballs. 3-2, Kokenge stayed alive.
Do we still got our $1, Brian, for return balls?
They do here, yeah. Run them down. Just, put that headset down and go run after. Win some wrestling matches here. 3-2, up high, ball 4. Kokenge will take first base. Good at bat there for Kennedy Kokenge. And Maya Gibson will bat for the second inning in a row. Harrisburg has sent an 8th player to the plate. They batted 8 in the first. This is the 8th batter here in the second inning. 3 runs are in. 5 scored in the first. It's already 8-0 Tigers as Charlie Hull will miss up high.
Right now with a first and third situation, Pierre calling a defensive play and attempts to trap the runner at third. We'll see what they go with here.
The 1-0 popped up again. Gibson will send this one back, but this time running out of room is Allie Keys. There's a young man waiting to receive that foul ball. He already had one in hand, and Brian Mosier said that one's only worth 50 cents instead of a full $1.
So it's a distance thing, too.
Yeah, you have to run it down. You can't have them come right at you. Curveball on the outside corner makes it 1-2 to Gibson. She popped up to Charlie Hull. Came and got it right in front of the plate, just up the third base line in her first at-bat. This one beaten to third. Nice play by Ava Nelson, and she'll throw on to first to record the third out of the inning. 3-4. The Harrisburg Tigers on 4 consecutive hits. They'll strand a couple. And after an inning and a half, Tigers lead 8-0. Back in a minute with more Pierre Governor softball.
Buying or selling a home is a big decision. You need an expert who knows the market and gets results. Scott Darnall at Lee Real Estate in Pierre brings experience, local knowledge, and a no-nonsense approach to help you navigate every step. Whether you're looking for the perfect home or the best offer, Scott is committed to making the process smooth and stress-free. Ready to make your next move? Call Scott Darnall at 605-220-2676. Lee Real Estate, Meredith Lee, broker, owner.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Bottom of the second as Ava Nelson will lead off for the Pierre Governors. 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up. Nelson made a nice play Ranging to her left to make that last out of the top half of the inning. Here's a weak roller to the pitcher, though, and Visker is up with it. Throws low, but dug out by J.C. Olson, and Nelson retired on a 1-3 putout.
Brian, you can really see what Visker's doing here. She is working that outside edge and low, and the bats we are getting on are hitting the plug in the last 3 inches of the bat, and we're hitting it weak right back. She consistently is doing this, and it's definitely a game strategy.
Here's Jordan Kirky, Jr. Been playing JV most of the season, but then in last Thursday's JV game, Jordan promptly crushed a home run over the left field wall, and now she's got one that'll drop out into right center field. A one-out hit for Kirky, and that went off the end of the bat, but she got enough of it. We deliver it to the green, and the Governors have a one-out base runner here in the bottom of the second inning.
Kirky came in our Sturgis game and promptly hit a double in a pinch hit scenario, so I think she's seeing the ball well for the Governors.
And that's, they could use, obviously, some spark in that offensive batting order. Kirky providing a little bit of that. Here is Olivia Hyman's hitting. Strike one is on the outside edge, and as you'd mentioned several times, Dean, now right at the knees on that corner. This one stays low. Dug up by Peyton Laframboy. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 on. Harrisburg leading 8-0. It's just, confidence can build if you just get a couple of runs here if you're Pierre. Hyman's grounds to short. Up second to first, and the out at second. Retires Kirky. Quick turn. But Siminek a little bit late as it is beaten out by Hyman's. That was such a sweet turn and a quick flip by Kennedy Kokenge at short.
That was a bang play at first. If you don't have the speedy Hyman going down the line, I think they got a double play.
Ball bobbled by the catcher here on the first pitch to Presley Spies. Hyman's will delay, but then take off and slide in safely.
Brian, I think we need to have $1 for every time Hyman gets her uniform dirty, because already she's done it with a head-first slide into second.
Pitch missing low here. Presley Spies the hitter. Chance to get one in, but a pop-up in foul territory in play. J.C. Olson is there to put it away. And the Governors will strand another run for the second inning in a row. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on, 2 complete, 8-0. Harrisburg will be back in 1 minute to go to the third. You're listening to Pierre Governors Softball.
Under the lights, it takes a team to get the win, and it takes a team that shows up ready to win every day. Purist and Harold is hiring production technicians and maintenance mechanics. If you're the kind of person who shows up, works hard, and has your teammates back, you'll fit right in. They offer gas reimbursement, an attendance bonus, and great Purist benefits. Join the team. Play to win at work too. Apply today at purist.com/careers.
At Iverson Auto, our legacy is your trust. Whether you're in Mitchell or in Huron, we embody the values that have defined us for generations. We have been your partner on the road since 1948.
We bring decades of expertise to ensure your journey begins with confidence. Our goal is to turn your visit into a memorable experience, leaving you with a smile and peace of mind.
Iverson Auto of Mitchell and Huron are here to make your car buying experience smooth and enjoyable every step of the way.
Visit us online at iversonauto.com.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Here we go to the third inning, as Charlie Hull will continue to deal against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Harrisburg Tigers. Stella Disbro first to hit, had an RBI single in her first at bat. She'll lead off with a solid knock here. Smacking it right up the middle, Olivia Hyman's well to the left of Micah Buffalo, who didn't have a chance on that play from the shortstop position. Disbro in the 8th spot, 2 solid hits so far. Obviously, teams like Harrisburg, quite deep, right up and down that lineup. And the leadoff single here. Hall with a curve outside.
Yeah, you see these good teams, it's almost like they're running 2 lineups, starting it right over again at the 5-6 spot.
Hayden Nold, the hitter here. An 8-0 lead for Harrisburg, and yes, it has been the top 4 in the lineup that have really done most of the work. Kennedy Kokenge scoring a run out of the 6th spot after reaching on an error in the first inning. 2-0 here, now 3-0. Runner will go and had a great jump. Throw from Keys as she delivered from the knees. Gets by Buffalo, but a good backup job here by Taryn Spruill. Stella Disbro steals second, though. And Harrisburg with a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Keys did a good job of blocking the ball in the dirt first before doing the throw. Good fundamentals there.
3-0, and that's a strike. Top of the third, Tigers scored 5 in the first, 3 in the second. 3 Pierre errors helping out and 1 misplay in the second. That was a tough play. We gave the batter a single. Here's a foul ball down the right field line. Enough room? No, as Kirky will run out of space. Good hustle by Jordan down the line. That'll run a count full. It started 3-0, now 3-2. The hitter, by the way, again, Hayden Nold, the only strikeout victim of Charlie Hull so far here in the first 2+ innings. But Harrisburg is finishing their second trip through the order right now. Here still has 1 or 2 batters to go. There's another strike, and all the way back for Hull. Swing and a miss as Nold goes down with a K for the second time. But the lineup gets tough here as it rolls up to the top with Leah Knutson. Walked in the first, singled in the second, scored both times. And this one fouled back to the right side.
You know, they always say it's a good at bat, Brian, when you foul it off, but you often, when you see this many foul balls, it also says that pitcher is moving that pitch. And that's exactly what Charlie needs to be doing.
All coming towards us, and a good job with a bat once again by Knutson. She'll drive a run in, and with her speed, easily check into second base. This one hit down the left field line. Good throw by Presley Spies. But Knutson there ahead of it to drive one in. Disbro scores from second, and Knutson trades places with her with that 1-out double.
Yeah, you definitely see you leave a ball anything waist high, they're turning on it. They're absolutely tattooing it with a very level line drive. We haven't really seen many pop flies. They've just been line drives, have they not, Brian? What you've been seeing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've seen several pop-ups, but the hits, I mean, Harrisburg obviously very productive in the quality of contact that they are making. Certainly a level above or 2. 1-0 here. There's another hot shot. A good job driving it the other way. Harley Whitmire, the freshman, who is in place of the injured Anna Siminek, has 2 hits of her own, and this one drives in a run with a double to the right side.
Yeah, definitely making the most of her opportunity coming into this game. You're exactly right. Great hit, 1 hop to the fence. Right center field.
2 runs in for the Tigers here, and Sam Kenneke comes out. We got a play stoppage, and Kenzie Flotmeyer is going to take over as the pitcher. So a timeout with the mound visit here. Timeouts in our broadcast brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. Flotmeyer, the senior, will take over. 10 runs in. So far, it's 10-0. Harrisburg, 1 out in the third. Let's pause for 30 seconds, and we'll be back with more Pierre Governor softball.
At Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore, they've been building partnerships for life by treating customers right, offering a low-pressure sales process, no haggling over price, passing low overhead savings on, and providing a Ford-certified service department fixing it right the very first time. If you're looking for a new Ford, a quality pre-owned vehicle, a new or used ATV, or a trailer, stop by Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore and experience the difference.
Jan Bussey Ford, building partnerships for life.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Back at Riggs Field as Harrisburg just continues to hit. Charlie Hull did a pretty good job for a good chunk of the 2 1/3 innings that she has pitched so far. Didn't get a lot of help in that first inning. Things got a little bit out of hand, but Harrisburg certainly, their hitters figuring things out. Governors will try to come with a little more power, and Kenzie Flotmeyer taking over. She'll face J.C. Olson. Lefty on lefty matchup. Olson has 2 singles and 2 runs scored so far. Foul ball coming right back this way. And it's a ball and a strike.
You definitely see these good teams. I mean, you make a mistake and put anything belt high, they're driving it. You're really kind of like tic-tac-toe or the 9 spots. You don't want anything in that middle horizontal or vertical.
Olsen fouls one off to the left side here, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think it's just key right now with, again, Ken's is up in the count here. Can she get a strike that's in one of those terrible positions, shall we say, to make her reach for a ball? And she does. Beautiful, fast curveball here. When Kenzie throws it, she throws it like a bowler's hook, and it's coming as fast as a fastball. She's just literally ripping it, and it's going from ours right to left as we're looking at the pitcher.
This is wide, though. 2 and 2. Same spot, 3 and 2.
What'd you see there, Brian? I couldn't tell, but that's a tough one to lay off.
Well, you see, yeah, but I think that was in the same spot as the last pitch. Keys did have to range to her left from the catching spot. Now she'll give an inside target, and this one runs up and in. And I think that's ball 4 anyway, whether it's a hit batsman or ball 4. And J.C. Olsen will walk her way down to first. First base was open. Harley Whitmire still at second base after driving in a run on the last batter that Charlie Hull faced. Whitmire walks her first batter of the day, and now a young lady with two-run doubles on the day. Peyton LaFramboise stands in, and she'll face the lefty for the first time here. First pitch fouled back on the right side.
Saw a little shift of Olivia Heyman in center to the left center position, trying to get in position in case there's a drive in that left center hole.
A change up here as Keys stands up to receive that one. That one floated a bit out of the hands of Kenzie Flottmeyer.
Able to use those volleyball ups of Keys.
There's a 1-1 LaFramboise. Big hitter here. Oh, and that one hits her on the forearm. And Flottmeyer has hit or been close to hitting 2 players in a row, and that one will load the bases. Whitmire on to third, J.C. Olsen to second, and the Framboy at first, but she'll be replaced by courtesy runner once again in Quinn Peters. 10-0 Harrisburg, and the hitter is Alexis Fye. She's had a tough day at the plate so far, but it's certainly a RBI opportunity here with the bases juiced and only 1 out. First pitch on the outside corner called strike 1.
Seeing the corners in, center infielders back on this, Brian.
And right to Buffalo. She'll bobble it, has to take the out at first. And just as you said, Dean, maybe if she plays that cleanly, she's able to get the out at home, but Whitmire will score with the bobble. Buffalo still with the heads-up play to make the out herself at first. Out number 2, so Olsen moves to third. You got LaFramboise's courtesy runner, Peters, moving to second. Strike 1 on a swing. And a miss by Kennedy Kokenge. She bats for the third time today. 11-0 now. Tigers just continue to score. Swing and a hot shot past the diving Terrence Proul. Out into right center field. This will score 2 more on the single. Ball gets away from Hall at second on the throw coming in, but Kokenge will stay put at first base. 2 more score, and it's a baker's dozen on the board for the Tigers.
And these aren't just barely finding holes, slow rollers. These are shots. These are hard hits through the infield in a moment flat.
Sproul didn't have a lot of time to act on that one. All you can really do is fall to your right to try to cover it up. I think even by the time she did that ball was already well out into right field.
That was there in no time. And so far our outfielders are doing a good job of fielding these clean. When you just play a ball hit that hard, you're giving up turning a single into a 3-bagger.
Foul ball back here, and then a strike, or a ball up high rather. Maya Gibson, the hitter. Gibson 0 for 2 on the day. A 1-1 with 2 down, and this one fouled straight back. All in 2 strikes. Kokenge the only runner out there at first now. Harrisburg with 12 hits on the day. Part of their 13-run outburst here. Tell you what, the state tournament's going to be coming up. We got the Sodak 16 on Tuesday, but you get these top teams playing each other in that state tournament. That is going to be some must-see TV. Here's a good play. Charlie Hull to Terrence Rule. Fielder's choice to retire Gibson, but the Tigers do damage again. 5 runs on 4 hits, and 1 runner left on base. It's 13-0 after 2.5. 30 seconds away, and we're back with another Pierre at bat. You're listening to Pierre Governor Softball.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box.
Well, Tigers just doing their thing as they come in here and take a 13-0 lead. Scored 5 more with Charlie Hull and Kenzie Flottmeyer pitching in that 3rd inning. A lot of hard-hit balls. The Governors were fairly sloppy in the 1st inning, but have been mostly clean since. The Tigers just continue to hit and hit some more.
Yeah, we got Emma Tylen up the bat here in a 1-0 count on a ball low.
Tylen, number 9 hitter, followed by Charlie Hull and Kenzie Flottmeyer. The 1 and 2 spots due up here in the bottom of the 3rd.
You know, Brian, we go back to that last inning. Flottmeyer got that last out.
Tylen bounds one wide of first base.
You know, Flottmeyer got that last out on a very nice peel drop that basically Harrisburg hit hard, but it was right to the shortstop, exactly what we want, keeping the ball down in the zone and getting that infield grounder.
1 and 2 to the leadoff hitter here, bottom of the 3rd inning. It's Tylen, who is the last hitter in this game to bat for either team, at least in the starting 9-player lineups. Harrisburg almost 3 times through the order. The Governors just finishing their first time through. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tylen fought one off. Will hit one on a 3-hopper to Olson at first. And then an unassisted put out comes out number 1. And the Governors' top of the order will come up. That'll be Charlie Hull. The center ringer right past the pitcher. In her first at-bat, but was stranded at 3rd base ultimately in the 1st inning. Kylie Visker doing a good job. Scoreless run on just 2 hits yielded in the first Pierre trip through the lineup. Strike 1 or a ball 1 low to Charlie Hull.
Really consistently working outside and low is what Visker's been doing. In that last hit by Tylen, again off the end of the bat. Charlie hit this off the end of the bat for a weak single over first base right on the line.
And the blooper gives Hull a 2-for-2 afternoon so far.
But yeah, if you were to make a pitch chart here, Brian, I would say everything is outside and low. It's pretty consistent where Visker's been, and what we've hit then has been off the end of the bat. So because she's hitting that spot consistently, we haven't squared her up with anything solid.
Kenzie Flottmeyer standing in. First one drops out of the zone, ball 1. 1 out here. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Governors just trying to get on the board. Somehow, some way, they trail 13-0 to the number 2 team in South Dakota. And another one that curves outside. Here from Visker.
I'd love to see a shot into right center, Brian, with that hole right there. That's a double or a triple. And with her pitching outside.
Off the end of the bat, got under it a bit, fouls it straight back. And that was a good job of hitting, too. And again, to me, I think you want to be stepping into these outside pitches. That's how you're going to reach them. You get those arms extended, and you can hit it a long way. This one is called a strike. And it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kenzie Flottmeyer.
From I'm sitting, that plate is cut in half. She's not even using the inside half.
And this one on a line drive. The runner took off. And a play made on a liner to Gibson at 3rd. An easy throw over to double off Charlie Hull. Nothing Charlie could do there. The double play will end the inning as Harrisburg faces the minimum. No runs, 1 hit, but no errors and nobody left on base. 3 complete. 13-0. It's Harrisburg in front. We'll take a 1-minute break. You're listening to Pierre Governor Softball.
generational success means different things to different people. But to us, it means seeing my daughter follow in my footsteps, keeping the farm in the family, just getting to do this every day. We're Agtegra Cooperative, and we're generationally successful. That's who we are. Agtegra Cooperative.
Hey Josie, why so glum, chum? I can't find a way to get my whole group to one spot without taking all these cars. You haven't heard of Denwall Transportation? They have luxury seating buses with air conditioning, outlets to charge your phone, and other must-haves for traveling. Whoa, no way! Yeah, you should check them out. Where can I find them? You can follow them on Facebook or denwalltransportation.com, or hey, let's give them a call at 605-532-3836. Denwall Transportation, let us do the driving.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal
Field going to the fourth inning, 13-0 Harrisburg. And as they started in the third inning, they'll bring 8, 9, and 1 to the plate here. Strike one to Stella Disbro on a fastball, and then a perfect changeup here that drops perfectly in by Kenzie Flottmeyer to an 0-2 count. Disbro's had a perfect day so far, and will foul one off. Hits the padding to the right side behind in the backstop. Disbro, though, solid singles to right center and to left center. On the day, driven in one and scored one in her 2 at-bats. Faces an 0-2 here. Flottmeyer, another changeup, just misses a little bit short. That one hit the dirt right behind home plate.
I think I would have been swinging at that one, Brian.
Tough one not to. I think Disbro got a little buckled on it. Fortunate that the at-bat continues as Flottmeyer dials it up again, and this one fought off.
But with 2 changeups, you can see now the batter's off balance with timing. Did exactly what you wanted it to do.
Flottmeyer came on in relief from Charlie Hull in the third inning. Tried one changeup that floated way up high in that inning. 2 nice ones so far here. This one just off the edge. And it's 2-2.
I like that pitch in a 1-2, Brian. She would have had to have reached, and if she hit it, it was going to be a weak roller to first.
Disbro standing in 2-2, and another changeup. This one short, but outside also. And Disbro able to keep the bat on the shoulder there to run the count full. So in this case, it was 0-2. Now Disbro, with the full count worked out, should fight off another one. The Pierre dugout on the first base side.
And the way they're pitching her, they got respect for her. You know, she's proven she can hit the ball in this game.
Great hitter. Gust of wind from the south, picking up, blowing some dust across the field here at Riggs. And another foul off to the right side. Kids are getting their money's worth here today with all these fouls getting off the field.
I think of all these 8 pitches here, they've all been outside edge.
3-2 for the third time. And this one beaten to the ground, but on the right side, it'll find its way through the first, second hole. Sproul dives at it, but comes up well short. Out into right to Jordan Kirky. 3 for 3 for Stella Disbro. And another fine at bat. Fought off 4 foul balls.
It started in an 0-2, Brian.
That's right. So leadoff hitter on once again for the Tigers, and the number 9 hitter. We've got a pinch hitter. This is Reese Moody, who will bat for Hayden Knoll. Moody, another freshman. 6 players on the bench for Harrisburg, 4 of them freshmen, one of which, Harley Whitmire, has contributed beautifully in this game for the Tigers. 2 for 2, 2 runs scored and 2 runs driven in already in the number 2 spot. Moody looks at strike one after taking one out of the zone. Now 1-1 here. And Moody puts one down the right field line, but that will slice with the help of the wind to the right field corner, but foul.
Lottie again ahead in the count like she was last time. She, for the first time in this at-bat against Moody, brought out that fast curve that she throws. That's the first time she's come inside here this inning.
These freshmen for Harrisburg showing they can handle the bat themselves. Here's Flottmeyer in the 0-2. Moody, again, protection. Hit one hard, but just late on it.
And you know, Brian, if you went to set it, you wouldn't know they're freshmen. They look totally confident in there, and they're stinging the ball as good as any hitter we've seen today.
Haley Houston coaching at first isn't even in the coaching box. She gets away and gets all the way over to the fence. When her hitters are hitting, here's a changeup that will bounce. Good job by Keys to cover that up. That keeps the runner Disbro at first.
Yeah, it's definitely self-preservation as a first base coach over there, isn't it?
2-2. And that went on the edge. Strike 3 as Moody takes it. First strikeout for Kenzie Flottmeyer. Charlie Hull had struck out 2, both, in fact, in that number 9 spot in the order. But the Tigers will roll it over once again, and Leah Knutson, who has a perfect day going, is the hitter. And she fouls one straight back. If you're watching at drgnews.com, that was to your left. But if you're watching where I'm sitting, that was right at my feet, actually. I didn't flinch. Runner on a 1. Here's Knutson. Foul off another one.
And this is what we were talking about pre-game, Brian, as we're going to top of the order here. Can we figure out how to pitch these ladies to get that ground out we're desirous of? Now we're in an 0-2. Harrisburg's been very tough in this situation. What can we do here to actually, how can I say this, throw a waste pitch and get a weak at bat?
Keys will put the target outside. Kenzie Flottmeyer sends it even further than that. It's a ball and 2 strikes. That is the waste pitch. The problem is, Dean, that some teams you can strike people out, but Harrisburg is just one of those teams that's not going to strike out. They make contact. This is about as close of a pitch as you can throw and not get it. I think it was a good call with the ball just a little high, but you know, you've got to if you're going to strike people out, you've got to fool them. And Knutson almost got fooled on that one. Oh, now this one hits off of her upper left arm. That one just came across. I really thought that pitch might have been over the plate, but it is a hit batsman. And another base runner here for the Tigers as Disbro moves on to second. Knutson at first for the 4th time today. 13-0 Harrisburg. We're in the 4th. One down here, top half. 2 runners on. Here's a bouncer to second. Spruill up with it. We'll throw to first, and that's really the right play. That ball took a little while to get to the second baseman. Her only play is to retire Whitmire at first as both runners will advance. Another base. Now 2 runners in scoring position, but an important second out as the Governors try to keep Harrisburg off the board for the first time in 4 innings. J.C. Olson, the hitter, and she'll foul one up.
You know, acknowledging what you're saying, Brian, these are just good hitters. So now you got to go with that. So again, you put the ball, pitching it in a location where they can't get a good hit. So keeping it down low is really, to me, one way to success here.
That one rides up high. Good rise ball there, and it's 0-2.
So now here we are in that 0-2. Kenzie's been here 3 times this inning. So a lot of latitude to come with a solid pitch, but she can't throw this away with a runner on third.
Foul off to the left side once again.
And I'll be honest with you, Brian, that was too much down the middle for my liking.
Yep, 0-2. You kind of, what you just said, though, goes right back to our keys to success here today is, try to get them hitting pitches that you want them to hit, that they don't want to hit. 0-2, but another hit batsman. Flottmeyer struggling. Charlie Hull hit one, Flottmeyer in particular, since she came in, actually has now hit 3 batters, 2 in this inning, and maybe might have hit Olson the last time as well.
And the irony is she's been up in the counts. You know, she's been sitting in a good spot.
Bases are loaded now. First base was open. Olson plugs that. Here's Laframboy, who swings and foul tips through the glove of Allie Keys. All runners will stay put. Framboy with 4 runs driven in on two doubles. Was also hit by a pitch in her last at-bat. Has scored 3 runs. Her courtesy runner has. Here's one on the outside corner.
I think this is our fourth batter here where we're a 1-2 or an 0-2. Just really getting ahead. Now let's see if we can get out of this inning with no runs scored. There was.
Swing and a miss up high, strike 3, and 3 runners will be stranded as Kenzie Flottmeyer pitches out of trouble. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, but 3 left on. We're through 3.5, and it is 13-0 Tigers. As we're back in 1 minute for another Governor attempt. You're listening to Pierre Governor Softball.
If new home construction or a major renovation project is on the top of your list for 2026, then let's kickstart your plans with an interest rate as low as 3.99%. A construction loan at Dakota Land Federal Credit Union is tough to beat and definitely something you can build on. Visit DakotaLandFCU.com for details or stop by a friendly and convenient branch location today. Dakota Land, federally insured by NCUA.
Each day brings the opportunity to make a difference. To follow through with integrity, to solve challenges through innovative thinking, and to bring the technical know-how needed to get the job done. At Wilbur Ellis, this is how we work, standing side by side as local experts who partner with the stewards of the land. We do it together. That's the power of we.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union President.
Back at Riggs Field, we'll go to the 4th inning. The bottom half here as the Governors will bring 3, 4, 5 hitters. The meat of the order coming up. They do trail 13-0, but defensively, the Governors did keep Harrisburg off the scoreboard for the first time in 4 tries today. He scored 5 in the first, 3 in the second, 5 more in the third. Here's Micah Buffalo starting things off. A roller to begin for Visker. And that is ball 1. Buffalo grounded out to second in her first at-bat. Trying to get something started here for the girls in green. And she'll hit one to second, to a shortstop, rather. Kokenge quickly up with it, and a 6-3 put out. Retires Buffalo, who's 0 for 2 so far. Governors are in the green jerseys, white pants, white socks. Harrisburg is in white on white. Their white jerseys, white pants, and of course the maroon and gold color scheme. Maroon letters, gold trim, and the maroon socks as well. And they look like a ball club, certainly, with the way they play. That's goes without saying. Visker misses on the first pitch to Sharon Spruill. Second one is hit slowly. Kokenge with a fire. Back-to-back putouts by the shortstop. Or assists, I should say, by Kennedy Kokenge. I'm not sure what was faster, Dean. That throw from short to first or a spike kill that Kennedy Kokenge is capable of.
It definitely turns some heads when you see a ball thrown across the infield like that. You're exactly right.
Foul from Ava Nelson came right back. If that net's not in front of us, that would have gone right between our two heads. And as big as our heads are, it still would have missed them both. Swing and a miss here by Ava Nelson, out on a grounder to short to the pitcher in her first at bat. 2 up, 2 down though for Kylie Visker, as she seems to be quite comfortable and getting more and more comfortable as this game goes along. Her ball outside.
It's kind of a letter L all game, vertically on the outside edge and then horizontal low, but seldom has she been inside on a right-handed batter. All day just working that outside.
1-2. Nelson again with a slow roller. Third baseman comes in and ranges over to make the play. That's Gibson to Olson. 3 groundouts by Visker. Governors making contact, but nothing solid in that 4th inning. We're 4 down and hopefully 3 to go for the Beer Governors, but we're at halftime otherwise of a 7-inning game. Halftime in Governor broadcast on River 92.7, sponsored by Wealth Partners, Ameriprise Financial in the Capitol Creek Center Plaza, East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Let's hear from them, and we're back in 30 seconds. More Pierre Governors softball coming up.
Ameriprise. Protect what matters most with the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, American Family Insurance. Our personalized insurance solutions ensure you're covered, no matter what life throws your way. From home and auto to farm, commercial, and life, we tailor policies to fit your unique needs. With our dedicated team and exceptional service, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're in good hands. Contact the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box.
So we go to the fifth inning, 13-0 Harrisburg. They've been in command all the way through. And they'll bring their 5, 6, and 7 hitters up against Kenzie Flottmeyer here in the top of the fifth inning. First pitch swinging is Alexis Fye. Deep fly, right field, and that one's over the head of Jordan Kirky. She will tumble over the makeshift fence, but this one carries the distance, and that is a leadoff home run by Alexis Fye.
Yeah, what a shot right off the bat, and I think it didn't matter if the wind was blowing that way, Brian. I think that was going to be out irrelevant.
So Fye, who was 0 for 3 coming into that at-bat, hits the first home run of the day. That's the first home run in our home broadcast that we have seen, I think, this season. In the varsity games, Jordan Kirky hit one in the JV contest last Thursday.
And was Jordan, did she cleared the left field monster,
over the
right?
left field wall, just to the left of the round scoreboard out there. Umpires were discussing, and I think they just had to make sure that that ball didn't bounce and then end up over the fence, but it is a home run for Alexis Fye. And another swing and foul here for Kennedy Kokins, the 6th batter in the lineup, second due up in the inning. Maya Gibson on deck. Kokins 1 for 2 today, but drove in 2 with a single in her last at-bat in the 5-run third inning. Flottmeyer misses. That one too quick for Keys to get a glove on it as well. And she'll have to run that one down. Solo home run for Fye makes it 14-0.
Just seeing consistent pressure up and down the lineup, aren't we, Brian?
Absolutely. They just keep bringing it. Even if you're 0 for 3, forget about it. And got somebody that can hit one out even after an 0 for 3 day. And Fye had popped things. She had a pop up behind the plate. She had a grounder to third, grounder to first before that. Here's Kokins turning on an inside pitch. This one gets by Spies. Kokins will have 2. She wants 3. The relay from Hull, no good. As Kennedy Kokins sliding into third with a triple to the left side. And that is just impressive to me, the way she was able to get that bat all the way through the zone. And an inside fastball by Kenzie Flottmeyer. And here's the thing, and the irony of that pitch, Dino, is to me, I think the Governors, I think you need to pitch him inside and get him swinging things off the hands a little bit, but Kennedy Kokins just said, you can pitch me anywhere you want. I'm still going to crack one to the wall in left field in this case. There's a foul off the bat of Maya Gibson.
And I will say in my observations at Harrisburg last year, if you watch them warm up, you watch them in swinging into the net, all players' swings look pretty universal. They look the same.
Gibson flying to right. Kirky backing off. Reaches up, makes a nice catch. Kokins will score, and that's the 15th run of the game, but a great play by Jordan Kirky. Something we haven't had enough to talk about. It's certainly not for the Governors, but highlight plays. Kirky kind of right on the money in this case.
Ryan, I think that ball would have been out. I think it was right there. I mean, if not, it was going to hit right at the top of the fence for arguably a triple, having to throw back into that wind.
I think you might be right. First productive at bat there for Maya Gibson, but speaking of Jordan Kirky making that highlight play. Highlight plays and right on the money highlight plays in our broadcast, sponsored by Rounds Financial Services in Pierre, where your money works for you. That's the first out, but it did drive in a run. Now another shot to the right center field gap for a hot hitter in Stella Disbro. This one reaches the fence. Hyman's up with it. Disbro wants 3. Spruill will throw, but that's late to Micah Buffalo. And another triple, the second of the inning for the Tigers. As Disbro tries to start yet another rally here for Harrisburg.
It's what makes that right center hole so desirable. If you hit left center hole, it's a double. You hit that right center hole, you got any sort of wheels, it's pretty much a triple due to the longest throw on the field. Longest series of throws.
9 spot in the order coming up, and this is a re-entry for Hayden Knoll, the senior right fielder. Struck out twice in her 2 at-bats, was replaced by Reese Moody in the 4th inning. Moody struck out looking. Now Knoll is back in, batting for the 3rd time. And a chance to drive one in. First pitch fouled back, second one up and away, and it's 1-1. 15-0, Harrisburg. Every bit as good as advertised. Pierre lost a 15-0 game last Tuesday down at Brandon Valley. Teams like that, Brandon Valley, Harrisburg, of course, several of the Sioux Falls schools, Jefferson and Washington in particular, all capable of putting scores like this up. So really what's happening today is not a surprise, but you just hope for the best with the Govs, especially when they're on offense. As this is Knoll working out a walk on 5 pitches. She'll take her spot at first base. Sam Kedicke will come out and talk to his pitcher and his infield. It's a mound visit, timeout. Timeout on our broadcast, sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. Let's sneak in a 30-second break, and we'll be right back. It's 15-0, top of the 5th on River 92.7.
Best of luck in today's competition to the Pierre Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy, your local agronomy experts. Black Sheep Agronomy wants you to have a successful farm plan, and they're focused on products and practices that work in this region. As community members themselves, Tyler, Tice, and Austin support area students who work hard in their school and extracurricular activities. Good luck, Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy. Call 842-6104 for all your agronomy needs.
Stay in back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union President.
Back at Riggs High, Riggs Field, the backyard. We welcome you here as the 5th inning continues after that mound visit. Coca-Cola break in the action. 1st and 3rd for the Tigers. Stella Disbro at 3rd, Hayden Knoll at first base, the leadoff hitter, and Leah Knudsen batting here. First pitch just missed, second one fouled off to the right side, out of the net. Governors defensively, Charlie Hull, who started this game, is at first base. Micah Buffalo started at shortstop, but she is playing 3rd now. And Ava Nelson is at shortstop. Strike 2 across the corner. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Knudsen. This one runs up high. And maybe this is a way to get him swinging and missing. We saw Laframboy a little while ago swinging a high fastball. Lottmeyer might be thinking the same thing here. Actually, this one's in the dirt, and Key's unable to get to it. As that one gets away, and runners will advance, including Disbro, scoring from 3rd on the wild pitch.
Yeah, now with a 3-2 count, 1 out, runner on 2nd, we just got to concentrate on the batter here and get this out.
Out running full from Flottmeyer to Knudsen, who's been on base 4 times in 4 plate appearances today. And stays alive here with a foul ball. Again, back and into the net.
You know, like you say, Brian, on base 4 times. And again, you watch these Harrisburg batters. The swing is the same. The mechanics are so fundamentally sound, so compact, so quick, extremely level.
And ball 4 up high here. So Knudsen will take first base for the 5th time. Single and a double, with 2 walks and hit by a pitch. So officially just 2 for 2, and Sam Kedicke will come out and have a chat with the home plate umpire, Justin Peterson. So again, a stoppage of play, and Kedicke's going to make a change. So this game, by the way, that wild pitch with a run scoring brought in the 16th run of the day. And it looks like Ava Nelson is going to get an opportunity to throw some here. We're in the top of the 5th. 16-0 Harrisburg, as we'll pause for 30 seconds, and Nelson will get some warm-up tosses. And we'll be back with more Pierre Governor Softball. River 92.7 and DRGnews.com.
Hills Vacation Home, the Summit on Dancing Sky near Leeds, South Dakota, in the popular Powder House Pass development. It's a modern rustic design with over 5,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, and 5 baths for you to enjoy. You'll get gorgeous views of the Terry Peak Mountain Range. There's a community pool to enjoy, and you're close to all the attractions like Deadwood, Sturgis, Spearfish, and a whole lot more. The Summit on Dancing Sky. Visit them at DancingSky.com.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box.
Last hitter that Kenzie Flottmeyer will face today. Tigers still with just 1 out so far here in the 5th inning. And they've got 2 runners out on the base paths. And Ada Nold at second base, Leah Knutson now at first. The hitter will be Harley Whitmire, who is 2 for 3 in relief of Anna Simonik.
You know, historically, Brian, Ava's been pretty good at pounding the zone to get quick action. She's going to they're going to be hitting to contact here. So it'll be on the defense to make the out. Good experience for the sophomore hurler to see, as she'll be called to duty here next year as a junior on the pitching rubber.
Yeah, she's probably going to be the number 1 pitcher, as Flottmeyer and Charlie Hull have both graduated. Here, the first pitch by Nelson to Whitmire is in the zone, strike 1.
And that's what you'll see Ava do. Is she's gonna make him swing, and hopefully our defense now can make the play.
Rocking back, delivered, and hit out into center field. Hymans has to retreat as Whitmire hits one out. That ball gone, and the freshman Harley Whitmire, talk about contributing in relief. She drives in 3, a 3-run home run. She now has 5 RBIs on the day. 2 RBI hits before that as well.
And wasn't starting the game, right, Brian?
No, actually, Anna Simonik, who came in, fouled the ball off her left ankle, finished that at bat, but on a ground out, couldn't hardly run to first base. And Whitmire now 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored and 5 driven in. And I'll be honest, she's a freshman. We talked about her being as young as she is, but she is, in my estimation, by far in stature, the smallest player that we've seen on that Harrisburg lineup.
But I'll come back to the bat swing. It looks fundamentally sound like everything else we've seen up and down the lineup. Very compact. Yeah, I'd put the young lady at 140-pound stops. She's not big in stature, but she's got an awesome swing.
Change up here attempted by Nelson, stays up high. J.C. Olson, the hitter. I wouldn't even go that high, honestly. 2 balls and 1 strike here. Nelson to the left-hander, Olson, and this one will ride outside, a little bit low. Almost every hitter for Harrisburg has had a productive day. Just the number 9 spot in the order has not been necessarily. Got 1 hitter that's 0 for 3, but had a sacrifice fly in her last at-bat. Here's J.C. Olson working out a 1-out walk. 4 runs in the inning. That 3-run homer, by the way, up the score to 19 for the Tigers. This is a team that scored 26 out in Sturgis last Friday. So this is nothing new for them. Here's a pop-up behind first base. Long run coming for Kirky. And a basket catch made, and Jordan makes a tough play to retire Peyton Laframboy on the flyout.
Tell you what, she's had a solid day today, Brian. A couple tough put-outs and came in and got herself a good single or a double. I can't remember here. And so good contribution from the JV player who's been moved up to varsity.
So the Framboy, she is retired for the first time today. Had a pair of 2-run doubles. I take that back. She struck out in her previous at-bat. Got a pinch hitter here for the Tigers, and it's Quinn Peters, who has done some courtesy running today, but here she is batting for Alexis Fye. Fye hit a solo home run to lead this inning off. Strike one in by Nelson, tries a changeup. Good pitch, but it's a little bit short. And it's 1-1.
Beautiful pitch by Nelson.
2 outs in after that catch by Kirky a moment ago, and with as far as she ran, she makes a nice play. Another highlight play for Jordan Kirky, right on the money. Right on the money. Highlight plays brought to you by Rounds Financial Services in Pierre, where your money works for you. Nelson working against Quinn Peters. One in the dirt makes it 2-1. Now up high and 3-1. Peters first at bat. She did a fair amount of running for LaFramboise earlier in this contest. Here's a swing and a 3-hopper out to short. Charlie Hull beats her by a step on the throw over, and that will retire the side here in the 5th inning. Governors have work to do. This will probably be the last at bat unless they score 10 in the inning. Coming up, Harrisburg plates 4 more, and they lead 19-0 after 4.5. We're back in 1 minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Softball.
The Ramkota Hotel is...
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
At Dakota
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
South Dakota's best bank again. We faced a dilemma. Thankfully, we have the state's best customers, so we're happy to brag about them instead. After all, they inspire us every day. The farmers, the business owners, the families. Without them, we'd be just another bank. So thank you to all of our amazing customers. We wouldn't be here without you. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Out of the 5th here at Riggs Field, Governors will try one more time to get something going here as they face off against Kylie Visker. Jordan Kirky, the leadoff hitter. Kirky, Hymans, and Spies due up. Tigers with crooked numbers in 4 out of 5 innings batted so far. 5 in the first, 3 in the second, 5 in the third. They were held scoreless in the 4th, but played at 4 in the 5th on 2 home run balls. A leadoff homer by Alexis Fye and a 3-run home run by Harley Whitmire. Kirky, first 2 out of the zone, but now a swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Kirky looking down to Sam Kenneke at the third base coaching box. He's looking behind him, wondering what you're looking at. And Kenneke's just saying, swing and hit, get on base. This one drops off the table. Kirky swings and misses, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next game for both teams is Tuesday. It's Sodak 16. Here's Kirky staying alive with the foul ball behind the plate.
Kirky definitely learned a little bit. Her first 2 swings in that at bat, that head was looking at Sam Kenneke. That last one, she made contact. The head stayed quiet and stayed right in the hole. Let's see if she can do that and square a ball up here.
Governors with just 3 hits on the day. Kirky has 1 of them. Charlie Hull has the other 2. Here's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. I thought that might have been dug out of the dirt, but Kirky just heads to the dugout. Pierre has not struck out a lot today. In fact, that's only the second strikeout victim of Kylie Visker. As Pierre bats in the 5th inning.
But you know, Brian, you talk about that swing to contact, where Visker's been putting that ball. We have not been able to square up anything well. And that's a great strategy, as good as a strikeout, and it decreases your pitch count. So real good strategy exercise by Harrisburg here.
Alexis Hymans, the hitter, hit into a fielder's choice in her last at-bat. Grounder to short. Strike 1 is in. First one was out of the zone. Now 1-1 to here to Hymans. Swing and a miss. That one low.
Awesome field.
Low in the zone, I should say. And it's 1-2. Well, unless things change, I don't believe we intend to follow the Governors on the road. 1 ball, 2 strikes, misses away. Now 2-2. We don't have intentions of following them on the road in the Sodak 16, which apparently right now would have them going to Brandon Valley. And a good take here for Hymans as that's up and out.
That's a rare time Viscas went up in the zone. Good pitch, by the way.
Full count here, 3-2. Some clouds rolling in from the west. Will be some rain later on. Foul territory, right side, long run, and it'll be Hyman staying alive. As Hayden Nold showed some hustle, but ran out of time to get to it. And it'll still be 3-2 as Hymans comes back to the batter's box.
Olivia's one of those ladies with very quick hands, and she has gone yard before. So it wouldn't surprise me if she can square one up and drive a ball deep.
3-2, down the middle. This one driven to center. And heading back is the center fielder making a nice play. What a play by Alexis Fye right at the fence. Dino, I think you pegged her. That one would have been out. Oh. It would have been out for Hymans, but Fye, who is tall in stature, able to reach up and make a highlight play. It's Alexis Fye this time. Right on the money for the Harrisburg Tigers.
Denied at the wall, Brian. That one was out of here.
And Fye keeps this a scoreless game for the Governors. In highlight play sponsored by Rounds Financial Services and Pierre, where your money works for you. For Pierre down to their last at bat. And Presley Spies is the hitter. First one low, second one up and away. 2-0.
Spy's a good contact hitter here, and she made contact last at bat. She's another lady who's had some extra base hits here in the second half of the season.
Fisker brings it, and that one rides over the plate, and a swing and a miss. 4 strike 1.
Yeah, you could tell the way Hymans was swinging the bat. She was feeling confident.
2-1. That curves up and out as well. Now 3-1. One of the few hitters counts that the Governors have had here today.
You're right. We haven't seen that often out of Visker. She's been in control most of the game.
Swing and a miss. That's strike 2.
Nice cut by Spiso.
And a JV game coming up. By the way, it is Senior Recognition Day as well here. So all the seniors from Pierre will be recognized in between ball games. 3-2. Spies puts it on the ground, and that one dug up on a dive by the second baseman. As Whitmire, who had an outstanding game today, makes the final play and a 4-3 put out. Well hit ball game. It certainly looked like it was destined for a hit. One final right on the money highlight play for the Tigers. Rounds Financial Services and Pierre preserves the shutout. And on your final Gales Gas Service scoreboard, it's Harrisburg defeating the Governors by the score of 19-0. The game ends on the 10-run mercy rule in 5 innings. 19-0 the score. The Gales Gas Service scoreboard. Use their budget plan and keep full service to stay warm all season long, but also to manage your heating needs all year long with Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Tigers with a win their 18th straight after dropping their first game of the season. They finish 18-1. We'll head to the postseason on Tuesday as the number 2 seed, most likely. The Governors probably will stay in the 13 spot as they will finish their regular season at 5-13 with this loss today. 19-0 your final. We'll talk all about it after a 3-minute timeout. Get back and give you the Family Dental postgame. We return with Pierre Governor Softball, your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Dr. Ryan.
We offer comprehensive mental health services, including medication management. With offices in Pierre and Winter, we provide in-person and telehealth appointments to fit your schedule. Whether you're managing anxiety, depression, stress, or other concerns, our compassionate team is here to help. We are currently accepting new clients, so take the first step toward better mental health today. Call Dakota Behavioral Health at 605-702-6769 or visit dakotabh.com to schedule your appointment.
Service Master of Pierre has been proudly serving Pierre and Fort Pierre for over 40 years. They offer professional carpet and upholstery cleaning, post-construction cleanup, residential and janitorial services, and thorough disinfection cleans. Service Master Restore provides expert water, smoke, fire, mold, and odor damage restoration, along with drying, dehumidification, and trauma or biohazard cleanup. When disaster strikes, every second counts. Trust the experts who've been doing it for over 40 years. Service Master of Pierre. Get clean today.
Futures aren't made by accident. They're dreamt, they're planned, they're discovered. At Northern State University, futures are the result of hard work and grit. NSU is an academic powerhouse with a spirit of exploration and genuine support, where professors know your name and push you to discover what you're truly capable of. But don't take our word for it. When you experience Northern, you'll see the difference here.
The best Western Ramkota Hotel in Rapid City supports all South Dakota student athletes and their families. They are conveniently located off Interstate 90, close to downtown and minutes from the beautiful Black Hills. The Ramkota offers sports and family-friendly rates. Guests can relax for free in the indoor water park. They have 36,000 square feet of banquet and meeting space, and the award-winning Minerva's Restaurant and Bar is located on site. Best Western Ramkota welcomes everyone to beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota.
Need a boost? Want to start feeling better? Atlas Chiropractic in Winter now offers hyperbaric oxygen therapy. This state-of-the-art treatment increases tissue oxygen levels by over 1,200%, helping boost the body's natural healing processes by more than 70%. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy can help with sports injuries, nerve and brain injuries, including concussions, vascular and blood vessel issues, fibromyalgia, and other inflammatory conditions. This treatment is FDA approved and research proven. Visit Atlas Chiropractic in Winter, home to one of the few heart chambers in the state of South Dakota. Call today and start maximizing your healing.
This Memorial Day, we pause to remember, to honor the men and women who gave their lives in service of our country, and the families who carry their legacy forward. Their sacrifice is the reason we are able to do what we do every day. In observance of Memorial Day, Rosenberg Implement will be closed as we take time to reflect, remember, and give thanks. We encourage everyone to take a moment honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. From all of us at Rosenberg Implement, thank you, and we will never forget.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal
Tigers, and again, Harrisburg, obviously a power team in South Dakota. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Nothing really surprising at all in the course of this game. Governors have struggled against teams similar to Harrisburg, but Harrisburg really one of the strongest offensive teams that we have seen this season. It's interesting that Harrisburg lost their first game of the season 6-1 to Sioux Falls Jefferson, and I'll tell you what, Dino, I mean, offensively, just this Harrisburg team looks like a team that they face the same pitcher that Sioux Falls Jefferson did a couple of weekends ago when they were here. Both teams faced off against Charlie Hall. I think Charlie certainly did a better job against Jefferson than what she was able to do against Harrisburg today, and that's just the fact that Harrisburg, I just think, sees the ball so well. Their swing mechanics, not the Jeffersons aren't, but Harrisburg's swing mechanics are so uniform, and I mean, they just they came in here, and I even had a little chat with their head coach about not necessarily talking keys to success, but he gave me his lineup, and I said, you guys definitely have goals, no doubt about it. And that's what it is, just eyes on the prize, and that's where Harrisburg is right now. Going to be really interesting if they happen to match up with Jefferson, but they probably have to meet a team like Sioux Falls, Washington along the way, and things like that. That state tournament's going to have an awful lot of greatness in it, no doubt about it. Harrisburg's going to be right in the mix.
We've seen some really good teams here in Pierre, seeing the four President's schools, Brandon Valley, and now Harrisburg. And I would argue with all good hitting teams, but this was very fundamentally sound hitting, was it not? Up and down the lineup. And so in Jefferson was quite solid. I remember Washington being quite solid. Brandon Valley hit the ball big. But these guys, as far as again, I don't want to give a nod to any team. I think it's going to be a tremendous state tournament, a lot of talent. rolling in here.
And obviously every team's got great pitching, and every team's got solid hitting as well. It's just going to be a matter of who can execute the best and play the cleanest defense. That's key to success for anybody. But it's going to be obviously tough if the Governors, if they're going to make it there, they'd have to get through a team just like this in Brandon Valley, who shut out the Govs 15-0 down in Brandon last week. But you got to tip your hat and give credit to where credit is due. These teams are good, no doubt about it. 19-0 Tigers win today. This is our Family Dental postgame. Family Dental has offices in Pierre and in Gettysburg. Brian Oakham with Dean Vandewille, and you take a look at how it all began. The first inning, unfortunately for the Governors, a little bit sloppy. Leah Knudsen leads off with a walk against Charlie Hull. Steals second base, but the throw from catcher Allie Keys went off the shoulder of Knudsen, who went into second standing, and that went out into left center field. She takes third and then comes in on a wild pitch even before Anna Simonik has finished her at-bat. Simonik in that opening at-bat actually fouled the ball off of her left ankle, finished the at-bat, but hit a ground ball and could hardly run to first base. Fortunately for her, an error on the throw by the Pierre defense put Simonik on. She was replaced then by Harley Whitmire, who had a heck of a ball game today. J.C. Olson followed with a single. Peyton Laframboy plated both Whitmire and Olson with a two-run double. Laframboy came in later on a ball hit by Kennedy Kokenge. It was a pop-up out behind second base. It was Micah Buffalo ranging out, and Presley Spice coming in from left field, but the communication wasn't there. And a misplay by the Governors put Kokenge on, and she ultimately came around to score as well, and an RBI single by Stella Disbro, who was then thrown out at second base with the third out of the inning. Harrisburg got 5 in the first. Governors in the bottom of the first came out and got a solid single right back up the middle by Charlie Hull. She advanced all the way to third base, but first to second on a wild pitch. And as Kenzie Flottmeyer struck out, Micah Buffalo grounded out to the right side. That advanced Hull to third, but Terrence Brule grounded out on a comebacker to the pitcher, and Charlie Hull was stranded at first base. Here had a one-out single from Jordan Kirky in the second inning, but left her. Actually, Hyman's replaced her on the base paths after a fielder's choice. She was stranded. Charlie Hull with a one-out single as well in the third inning, but he raced on a double play on a line-out as Hull was running on the pitch. Kenzie Flottmeyer lined out to short. Hull was out, doubled up at first base. That's all the Pierre had on the base paths today, those 3 hits. Meanwhile, Harrisburg with a 5-0 lead starting the second inning, and after a one-out strikeout, or I should say a strikeout to lead off the inning, Leah Knudsen singled, stole second, came around to score on a RBI single by Harley Whitmire. And then J.C. Olson follows with another single. Peyton Laframboy followed with her second straight two-run double. And she plated both Whitmire and Olson for the second straight time. And Laframboy's courtesy runner was ultimately stranded at third base as the Governors got out of the inning, yielding just 3 to the Tigers. The Tigers come back with 5 more in the third inning. A leadoff single by Disbro, followed by a strikeout, but then a double for Leah Knudsen to plate Disbro. Whitmire doubles herself, trades places with Whitmire, scoring her from second. J.C. Olson walks. Peyton Laframboy hit by a pitch, and the bags get filled up. And then Kennedy Kokenge, 2 batters later, slaps a single up the middle and brings in Olson and Laframboy for a 5-run inning. And the Tigers led after 3, 13-0. They go scoreless in the fourth. They did load the bases, though. A leadoff single for Disbro. 2-hit batsman as Kenzie Flottmeyer came on in relief in the third. But she did get a strikeout of Laframboy to end that threat in the fourth, and it was still 13-0. But more damage to be done in the fifth as Alexis Fye led off and hit a home run to right field, going the opposite way. She was 0 for 3 until that at bat, and hits a home run to drive in one to make it 14-0. Kennedy Kokenge followed with a triple down the left field line. She was driven in on a sacrifice fly by Maya Gibson, although a nice catch made by Jordan Kirky out in right field. Disbro comes up with another hit, her fourth of the day. Stella Disbro, 4 for 4 on the day. Her last at bat was a triple to start another rally. Hayden Nold walked, Leah Knutson walked, and Harley Whitmire comes up and hits a 3-run homer to center field over the head of Alexis Hymans. That plates 3 and made it 19-0 as Harrisburg gets a walk but a fly out and a ground out after that. And 19-0 is the score that holds. Governor's got some contact with a deep fly by Olivia Hymans in the 5th inning, but at the fence, Alexis Phi makes a reach-up catch, maybe to rob Hymans of a home run of her own, and then a nice play on a dive by Harley Whitmire at second base to field a grounder. Hot hit by Presley Spies, but Whitmire makes the play, throws to first for the last out of a game, in a game that is ended by the 10-run mercy rule. Harrisburg defeats the Governors 19-0. And there's just another thing, Dino, we talk about the offense, but even though Harrisburg didn't get a lot of strikeouts today, just 2 strikeouts by Governor batters. Let's make that 3, actually. No, I take that back. There were only 2 strikeouts by Pierre batters today, so there's a lot of balls hit, but a lot of defense. And even as they're coasting to a 19-0 lead, Harrisburg made 2 great plays in the bottom of the 5th inning to preserve the shutout. I mean, obviously, they have it in them to not go lackadaisical, and they kept up their top-notch play and kept the Governors off the board in this one.
We saw a diving play at second base, you're right, that easily could have been a single, like you said, on Spies, and Heyman's hit was out.
Yeah.
And granted, that's a tall girl in center field, but that's a big, difficult catch that she made. And, and it was very obvious to me that as a defense, they had an agenda. And when I say their agenda, not only watching them warm up, are they fundamentally sound, but the way they're pitching here the entire game. I know a lot of times we think pitching is just randomness, that it's a strike high, strike low, inside, whatever. But there is very obvious to you and I sitting right here that Viskers was working outside and low all game. And even though she only had 2 strikeouts, that was the recipe to success for that Harrisburg team. And again, only 2 strikeouts, which means we are making contact, but it was weak contact at that.
Yeah.
So a good agenda plan for the Harrisburg Tigers coming into the ballgame.
Those watching at drgnews.com or GoGovs.live seeing now senior recognition as these seniors are being honored. Of course, all the seniors that played in this game made their graduation walks this past weekend. We wish them all the best in what's to come. Charlie Hull, Kinsey Flotmeyer, Micah Buffalo, Presley Spies, the players who will be honored here as seniors. And Courtney Potter, who is a student manager, is also a senior member of this Governor squad as well. 19-0, Harrisburg wins it today. They certainly didn't do it without big plays of the game, and your big plays are sponsored by Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. Let's hear from Hermanson. We'll touch on the big plays in this one when we come back with more Pierre Governor softball.
Quality comes first at Hermanson Endodontics. Dr. Brian Hermanson serves Central South Dakota with specialty root canal treatment. Hermanson Endodontics strives to provide treatment that's not only comfortable, but also provides the best possible outcome. They do this by effective and timely communication with your dentist and preserving as much healthy tooth as possible using state-of-the-art 3-dimensional imaging and the dental operating microscope to guide diagnosis and treatment. Ask your dentist if a root canal specialist is right for you. Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre.
Hermanson Endodontics, big plays of the game as, again, senior recognition is being conducted here. Charlie Hull getting honored, and assistant coach Chris Hall, who's been on the mic with me in the last couple of years. Dean Vandewille, you said it. I mean, nobody's got more colorful shorts than him. The cool thing is today, Chris's shorts actually match the rest of his outfit, so I got to give him that.
I'm thinking it's Granimals off the Amazon site that he's using for adults, and but no one is more flashy or flamboyant in the short selection than Chris Hall.
Good times here, even though Governor's season comes to an end with a loss. The JV game is coming up, so turning into a nice night for softball. I did check the radar. We've got rain showers out to the west, some to the south, but I think it's all going to hold off at least for another couple of hours here in the capital city. We heard from Hermanson Endodontics. Time to talk about the big plays in this contest. Big plays, pretty much all turned in by the Harrisburg Tigers. There were some Rounds Financial Services highlight plays made by the Governors defensively, but the big plays from Hermanson Endodontics I'll tell you what, I've got them with 15 hits, 19 runs on 15 hits. They took advantage of each walk, and they had 3 or 4 hit batsmen in this game as well. Just everybody scoring, but it was the top 4 hitters doing all the damage in this one. And I'm looking at a pair of 2-run doubles by Peyton Laframboy delivering in both of her first 2 at-bats. By the time she batted twice, she was 2 for 2, scoring a run but driving in 4. And that was half the output for the Tigers in that first 2 innings when they had an 8-0 lead. So big plays there. But they had a couple more extra base hits, back-to-back doubles in the third. Of course, the two home runs that they hit in the 5th inning. And really, I didn't know if the first one would make it out. Alexis Fye driving one the other way, just a fly ball that kept carrying. Maybe wind aided as well to a little bit, but Harley Whitmire, and for a freshman to come in and go 3 for 4 and drive in 5 runs, scoring 3. I mean, what a ball game she had. But that 3-run homer, as if the Tigers needed a dagger or a final nail into the coffin. That scored the last 3 runs. So you can certainly call home runs hit as big plays in the game as well. Just up and down the lineup, and even deep under their bench, they've got hitters all over the place.
And we were seeing it didn't matter if it was a freshman, a sophomore. Again, to see it to hear it is one thing out of Brian and I, but to see it, those swings are very compact, they're very quick, they're very fundamentally sound. And the other thing you notice is the batters learn. It seems that they're very quick to learning the speed and the movement of the pitcher, and they keep those swings compact. So if it spins a lot, they're able to wait and square it up. And then the hits we saw, Brian, were line drives. They were hard shots. Nothing was a weak hit that I can recall. So
really weren't. No, I mean, Pierre had 3 hits and a hot shot from Charlie Hall, a blooper behind first base. Jordan Kirky's hit was pretty well hit. It was still kind of a dying quail line drive, but over the second baseman's head. That was a pretty solid hit in itself. But obviously, the tough thing for teams like the Governors against teams like Harrisburg is stringing those hits together. We saw, we've seen that in the last couple of weeks against the top teams in the state, and it's a big difference in the top teams versus the teams that are in the bottom half of the Sodak 16, which will be coming up on Tuesday. But Harrisburg, certainly plenty of offense, providing a lot of big plays of the game that are sponsored by Hermanson Endodontics and Pierre. The last order of business is to remind everybody of the player of the game, or to name a player of the game, which in our broadcast are sponsored by the folks at Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Harley Whitmire gets a pat on the back for Harrisburg, coming on in relief of Anna Simonik. As was mentioned, 3 for 4, 5 runs driven in, 3 runs scored. Leah Knutson, top of the order, went 2 for 2, scored 3 runs, but was on base 5 times, was hit once and walked twice. Also drove in a run with a double. J.C. Olson scores 3 runs in a 2 for 2 day. She also was on base 5 times out of the 3 spot. We mentioned Peyton Laframboy with the 2-run doubles. Ultimately goes 2 for 4 today, but scores 2 runs. And Alexis Fye with the home run. Kennedy Kokinge gets 2 hits, drives in 2, scores 2. Had a triple in the game. Stella Disbrow out of the 8 spot, 4 for 4, scoring 2 runs, driving 1 in. Had a triple in her last at-bat in that 4-run 5th inning as well. And then you got Kylie Visker going 5 innings, 3 hits, and no runs given up, no walks, and she strikes out 2, getting the pitching win. Those are the Harrisburg player of the game honorable mentions, but we keep it local, and we'll pick somebody out from the Governor's side after you hear this from Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre. Player of the game coming up next.
Grab your cell phone and download the brand new Cowboy Country Store app today. It's free and it's super easy to navigate. And best yet, it's full of amazing everyday specials and rewards like 99-cent coffee on Mondays, 2 hot dogs for $3 on Wednesdays. Every single day, there's a special deal. And we also reward you for shopping with a bonus on Sundays offering you double points earned on every purchase. So check it out by downloading the Cowboy Country Store app today.
Cowboy Country Stores gives us players of the game in our broadcast, and again, keeping it local. Charlie Hall with a solid 2 for 2 day. Did have, had trouble putting hitters away as Harrisburg makes an awful lot of contact. Charlie only went 2 1/3 innings, giving up 12 runs actually, 7 of which I had as earned. 10 hits, 3 walks, a couple of strikeouts, but she still did a lot of decent things off of the pitching rubber. But again, it's just all that offense that Harrisburg brought. But Hall did have one of her best hitting days with two solid knocks in this one. Otherwise, Jordan Kirky had the hit. Olivia Hyman's almost had a home run in that 7th inning. So we'll note that. But really, I think the only choice you've got other than Charlie Hall would be Jordan Kirky, and that's where we're heading today. Jordan, 1 for 2, did strike out in the 5th inning, but it was 2 nice defensive plays. And then, she stayed on that 5 home run ball and tumbled over the makeshift fence in right field. Just a lot of hustle, but let it not be understated. I mean, the Governors have hit some home runs in the varsity ranks this year, but none of which, I believe, came in on this field. I mean, you had one game I wasn't here for in Spearfish. Were there any home runs in that game? Other than that, they're all hit on the road.
Correct.
And Jordan Kirky hit one against Mitchell in the JV game last week. So that is, again, adding to honorable mention here. But in this particular game, Jordan Kirky is our choice as the Pierre Governors player of the game. So the junior here on Senior Recognition Day will get a T-shirt noting her accomplishments. Governors do fall, though, 19-0. Jordan's out playing first base here as the JV game is about to get underway. 19-0 the final. Tigers 18-1 on a solid stellar season. Let's not sugar. Heading into the postseason. The Governors will be in the postseason in the Sodax 16 on Tuesday. I'm going to guess they go to Brandon Valley, but things could change. Rapid City Stevens was in the number 4 spot much of the season. Maybe Stevens sneaks back up into the 4, and Pierre could be heading out to Rapid City if they don't go to Brandon Valley. But that'll be on Tuesday, and again, we'll wish them the best of luck. We do not expect to be following them, but you never know. Our best of luck to the Governors and to the Tigers the rest of the way through the Sodax 16 and presumably into the state tournament. For Tiger fans who are here, for anybody traveling for high school sports or any reason at all, we'll remind you on behalf of the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, it just doesn't matter how far, just buckle up. It starts with you because you've got someplace to be. Reminder from the Office of Highway Safety. One more comment here from Dean Vanderwille on the future of both of these teams in the near future, Sodax 16 and potential state tournament opportunities.
Yeah, I think right now you're going to see Harrisburg take a huge run and be one of those top 3 teams. I can really see that. For your Governors right now, I think that they have improved so dramatically in starting a program here 4 years ago. And I think if we continue to see the improvement we've seen here this last year in attitude, commitment, playing these tough teams, learning how to win, you're going to see a good Governor program coming in the future.
Yeah. And hopefully just being, increasing the competitive level, because I'm sure these Harrisburg type teams, they want tighter competition.
That's right.
Absolutely. Up and down that schedule. So congrats again to the Tigers today as they win it on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, 19-0 over the Pierre Governors today. For Dean Vanderwille, for John Stewart, who's been running the camera with Live Ticket. You can rewatch this game on the Go Govs Live YouTube feed as you wish, and also for Cortana Mancuso, who's been running our show in our River 92.7 studios. I'm Brian Oakland. Thanks for joining us, and again, best of luck to both of these teams in the postseason. We do invite you to tune in for state track and field meet coverage, which will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday next week on our sister stations, KPLO and KMLO FM. Best of luck to all of our tracksters who will be competing at Howard Wood Field next weekend in Sioux Falls. Until we meet with you again, I'm Brian Oakland. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to Pierre Governor Softball, a presentation of the official voice of the Pierre Governors, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com. Good evening, everybody.
You've been listening to Pierre Governor Sports on the official home of the Pierre Governors, River 92.7 and DRG Media Group. Governor Sports is brought to you by your Pierre Sports marketing sponsors, Bank West, Beck Motors, Dakota Storm Roofing, Superior Concrete, Live Ticket, Overhead Door, New Edge Advisors, Avera Orthopedics, Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, Kruger Contracting, Century Business Products, and the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency of American Family Insurance. Governor Sports is also sponsored in part by Dakota Mart, TMA, First Dakota National Bank, May Adam Law Office, Edward Jones, Avera St. Mary's Hospital, Wegner Auto, Graham Tire, and by Xander Auto Parts, American Bank and Trust, Cappy Sun and Shine Properties, Oahe Federal Credit Union, the Ramkota Hotel and Conference Center, Tokyo Hibachi and Sushi, Bauman Lumber, and Black Hills Federal Credit Union. And coverage of high school sports on River 92.7 is also brought to you by these special in-game sponsors: Bank West, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, Central Dakota Eye Care, Envirotech, the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection, Rounds Financial Services, Comtech, Coca-Cola Bottling, Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial, Hermanson Endodontics, Family Dental, Cowboy Country Stores, and Gale's Gas Service of Pierre. Thanks for listening to Pierre Governor Sports on the official home of the Pierre Governors, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com.